Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. My name is Stephen Marty Martinez. This is Worcester Premier League Week 7 of Season 3. That's it. We're at the very end of our regular season here tonight. There are only a few matches that these players have yet to play. And everything, the playoffs, it all comes down to how these matches go down. It's the penultimate week. We're finally here. It's what everyone's been playing for. Playoffs next week. My goodness, how the time flies. But before we get into the full recap of everything that we have waiting for us in just a few minutes' time, let's go over last week's winner, Ron Sargent, the Week 6 champ. The Dreamboat has set sail, really finding his footing in these past couple of weeks, coming out with some stellar matches, but man, oh man, did he have quite the scare last week in the first round quarterfinals against Justin Burke. Justin Burke giving this guy a ton of pressure, was really the only guy all night to actually do so. So you can see Ron mopped up pretty much the rest of the way. 2-0 versus Joe Ricard in the semis, and then 2-0 against Mike Carignan there in the final. If we go to the standings, how things currently look going into tonight, the Dreamboat topping out the standings with 20 points, 2 night wins, 11 match wins, 4 180s. Tom Curtin, who is currently absent again this week, unfortunate, but he is traveling back from competing internationally in Budapest, WDF events there, so he has a little bit of a pass there. Competing internationally, representing the United States, okay, we get it. But he will certainly be back for the playoffs. Tom holding on to second place. Of course, the guy who's looking to move him down a peg, Joe Ricard, just behind him with 14 points, 2 night wins, 8 matches won, 10 180s. Tom, 16 points. So certainly a lot to play for tonight for Joe Ricard, who's just on the cusp of breaking into the top 2, depending on how things shake out. So currently, with our standings, our top 3 are set. The top 3 cannot be, well, nobody can jump into it anymore. Mike Carignan, Justin Burke, Mark Rudge, all of these guys are currently locked into the middle of the pack. How the pack settles down, settles out here, it's up to them. Who's going to play who first round? That's what these guys are playing for. Obviously, they all still want to win their matches. They all still want to have that one up on each other. but we have to wait till the end of the night to see how our final playoff bracket is going to be set. And of course, Nick Soldo, Berto, Santos, these guys are currently below the playoff line, currently at risk of relegation. A lot to play for these guys. Nick Soldo, the closer of the two. Will he be able to break into that middle of the pack, 5th, 6th? We shall see. But if we look at the bracket for tonight, Week 7 for opening round game is going to be Mike Carignan, Joe Ricard on the stream. Other side of the bracket, Ron Sargent, Berto, Santos. Dropping to the lower parts here, Justin Burke, Mark Rudge. That's going to be a super critical game. Who's going to be able to find those critical points, push themselves up further in the standings? We have yet to figure that out, but that's going to be a critical game. The other side, Nick Soldo will be getting the first round bye, so he will be getting those 2 points, but it's not enough, as he's currently, with those 2 points, at 5 points. He needs 6. So, Nick basically has to make it to the finals to get out of the relegation risk zone. Ron Sargent certainly wants to keep his win streak going. Berto will have to try and beat Ron if he wants to have any hope of getting out of the relegation risk. Joe Ricard has to beat Mike Carignan if he wants to secure the top 2. Justin Burke, Mark Rudge. That's just a grudge match. These guys, I mean, of course they want to win. Of course they want to, have that one up on each other. But if we go back to the standings here, they want to have that one up on Mike Carignan. Be a little bit closer, be 4th place. Of course, a little bit more potential prize money on the line, depending on who they have to play in the playoffs. But there's a lot to decide here. And if we go to the board cam, oh my goodness, we've been seeing a lot more of this guy as the weeks have gone on. Mike Carignan, we got to see him go all the way to the finals, facing off against the Dreamboat. And man, oh man, did this guy show, well, he showed us a lot. He showed us that, yes, okay, he has some struggles here and there with his darts, but he's still very threatening, very capable of putting up some big numbers, big checks, big visits. Mike Carignan is certainly going to be no slouch here in Week 7, and he has a lot to play for. He wants to deny Joe Ricard everything. He wants to deny him, the top 2 finish. Really quickly here, there seems to be a little bit of an error. That is not the right scoreboard, so let me actually correct that really quick using the powers of technical wizardry. Voila, that has now been fixed. Wow, we're so good here at the WPL, my goodness. And of course, Joe Ricard over there, he has the opportunity to break into the top 2, secure himself a first-round bye in the playoffs. And that also comes with guaranteed prize money as well, because you are automatically making the top 4. So there's a lot to play for here in this match. Let me give these guys the go-ahead. Let them know that we're ready for them. Giving them the go-ahead. Bump of fists, shake of the head, nod of the head there. Looks like Joe is getting things going here for us. He's going to be leading off here in this bull-off. We're going to see him jump straight into the pool. Goes a little wide, so Mike, opportunity now to lead off. This would be critical for Mike if you can just get that little bit of confidence. Start off on the right foot. And looks like, wow, there's no better way to start off than that. That thing has got to be dead center in there, folks. My goodness. Mike Carignan coming out, finding the center of the board, and he will be leading off here tonight, Week 7, Season 3. This is our last regular season night here before the big one, the playoffs. These guys certainly want to go into that with all the momentum that they can possibly get tonight. Solid ton there from Mike Carignan leading off here with an excellent score. Wonderful stuff. And if everybody who's tuning in tonight, certainly give these guys a lot of praise in the coming days. They've battled it out immensely. So much pressure here these past couple of weeks, but they've given us an excellent show. So if you see them, say hi, say congrats, and cheer them on next week. My goodness. Joe Ricard, excellent follow there with the 97. What can Mike Carignan do to follow up with that? Certainly don't want to. Well, it's already a little bit awkward now because whenever you lead off with a solid ton plus, just above 100, even at 100, you certainly don't want to follow up with 28. It's a real momentum killer there, and Carignan will try and recoup. And Joe will look to do some serious damage here, but it looks like those first 2 darts are just wide, and looks like poor second vision from both gentlemen here. Why hit a round of 9 when you could hit the big round of 7 there? Mike, of course, getting off with Well, getting away with one there. Getting off with the big ton. Certainly wants to try and get back to the opening way. Solid third dart there. Great visit from Carignan to really save it. And Joe looking to try and keep pace now. Needs 97 just to keep pace with Carignan. Wants to certainly pass that. First dart just a little high. My goodness. Second dart again goes a little wide. So first game of the night. Calibration needed from both guys as they get the radar dishes dialed in. And Carignan already leading off with a pretty strong first 9 here. 67 average. May not be enough to get the job done against Joe once he starts to get his arm going, but certainly good to have your neck out in front in the first leg of this set. Joe finally finding the red bit there. Is he going to be able to fill this up? 2 in there, Joe. Oh, third dart just goes high. That would have been a spectacular 180, but the 140 does put him out in front. Mike Carignan, 257 now. Really can't afford to have a poor visit. Needs to try and keep it steady. Needs to get down to an out first, and that second dart is going to be beautiful in the mind of Mike Carignan. No, he can't follow it. Might have been a little defensive action there from the flights, but the 81 will bring him close, but not close enough to have a sniff and an out. First dart just to the left here for Joe Ricard. Second dart finds that big correction. He will be going downstairs, and he finds the big correction downstairs. Joe Ricard, excellent visit there. After a little bit of a slow start, he's certainly picked up the pace. And now Carignan more or less has to hit a ton 40. Put some pressure on Joe Ricard here. That's a great guide. Wants to drop it a little lower. Looking for the ton now. Can't quite find the ton, so 116 remaining. It's certainly pressure, but is it enough pressure? Going to have to find out. Joe Ricard's able to take this in 3. 72 remaining across the 12. Can't grab it, so 60 remaining. Now can only set up, and he will leave himself 40. Mike Carignan will be focusing up here, trying to find 116 ton plus take here in the opening leg of this game. First dart is found, so 16s, or he can stay if he wants to. Finds the 16 very close, double 20. And he drops that third dart well low. The grimace on the face of Carignan. He knew how close that was. Great bid, great effort. But now Joe Ricard, double 20 has been so friendly to him the entire season. Going across now to double 10. And he finds it with that second dart. So Carignan did very well to have a look at that 116, but Joe was able to clean up. And he is now getting going here. 75.15 average. Carignan, no slouch either with the 68.71, but you really do feel that if you're not at least above a 70 average against Joe, Tom, Ron, these guys in the top 3, you're going to be in for a real rough time here. And Carignan doing very well to follow this opening visit from Joe Ricard. Wants the big ton 40, only able to find 95, so not a bad follow. Of course, Joe with the slight advantage, finding that big ton off the rip, And Joe Ricard continuing to find that first start. 2 in there. Are we going to see the big fill? Come on. Big 180 there from Joe Ricard. Solid darts there. And when you talk about pressure, doesn't get any better than that. Big 180. Carignan more or less has to follow with a ton 40 if he wants to even keep pace. Able to find that correction, so needs another one out of desperation, can only follow with the 85. So not bad darts here from Carignan, but when your opponents are finding ton 80s in their legs, it gets tough real quick. That's an excellent guide. If he can find that small correction, goes right instead of down and goes higher. So not the strongest follow-up, but he will leave himself 161 after 3 darts. So excellent overall here for Mr. Ricard. Carignan just wants to go next door. Would like to go inside the house here. Was able to find the correction, but wow. Elects to go downstairs to try and chase that triple 19. Not sure if that was the right play, but Didn't work out in the end, and Joe Ricard will not be taking out the 161, so can only set up here and finds the big 5 on accident. You can tell by the reaction he certainly wanted a better dart than that. And he's able to find the triple, so 85 fired in there from Joe Ricard. Great leave, 76 remaining after 4, and Carignan all the way back at 277. Certainly a lot of work to be done here. And these are the types of legs that can get pretty discouraging pretty fast, knowing the checkout efficiency of Joe Ricard has been pretty good this entire season so far. Carignan going downstairs, not able to find the big trip 19, only able to find the single. And again, Carrigan's not playing a bad game, but still not within outshot territory. And Joe Ricard will leave himself 71 after finding that big 5. Maybe try to go for trip 13 there. Again, that dart is a little high, a little wide, so some under 100 sloppiness here from Joe Ricard, able to find the big 17. So able to make the big correction with that third dart, leave himself 50, but still will have to burn a dart. He might have said something to Carignan there. Obviously not happy with his performance. Again, one of the things that we love here about the Worcester Premier League is that not only are these guys fierce competitors, these guys are great friends, both in darts, outside of darts. So even though these guys are pushing each other quite hard, they still want to see each other do well. And Joe Ricard recognizes the 60 from Carignan, but wants to get out in a hurry here. Will leave himself double 16, 2 darts at it. Just wide on that second dart, my goodness. The third dart pulls it inside, so Carignan almost took out a 116 in the past leg. Has a look for a very similar take, 118 remaining. Can he get it done here? Not able to find that first, so 12. Leave him 106. I believe 46 remaining now, so has to burn a dart. Will leave himself 32, so great leave from Mike Carignan. 88 found, again, has been playing a very strong leg. And excuse me, caster math not correct, leaving himself 30. That may or may not be right. I think they're discussing it. I'm not sure if my math is correct here. Caster math has not been my strong suit the entire season. So I think they're actually, maybe I was right. Hey, every dog has his day. If he corrects it to 32, we'll have to see in just a few short seconds here. That is really one of the all-time. Okay, so a little feather in my hat there. Hard-earned. The mental math was working. And all of that discussion and all of that fussing about for nothing there. And Carrigan's laughing because Joe just takes it out in the first dart on his visit. So tough darts there. But Carignan not playing a bad game. Just needs to find a little bit of luck here on this red section of the 20s. Needs to drop it a little lower. Okay, maybe not that low, Mike. A little bit higher now. And not able to find the big ton. So tough visit there from Carignan. 60, still not bad, but may not be enough compared to what Joe might be able to find here. First dart might be a blocker. Who am I kidding? Joe always finds a way, and 2 darts in there just to silence the crowd. 140. Great lead off there from Joe Ricard, and Carignan again under pressure. Needs to find these big ton-plus visits if he wants to keep pace down the board. That might be a tough blocker. Not able to go over the fence, so 43, unlucky. Let's see if Joe can keep the pressure on. First dart goes wide, pushes it out into the ones, and that might be 2 pushes there, so opportunity now for Carignan to try and scratch his way back into this leg. One of the things that I have noticed so far is that Carignan is not pushing his darts nearly as much as he was last week. He's finding a nice steady release on his throw. Of course, as soon as I say that, I curse Mike to just push it out into the 1, but he's able to find that big correction with that third dart into that triple 20 segment. So 81 found there. It certainly seems like the arm is working a little bit better this week for Carignan. He was experiencing some horrendous pushes last week, but he seems to have sorted it out. We'll have to see if this trend continues as the night goes on here for Mike Carignan. Joe Ricard, 294. So well within reach of Mike Carignan as he lines up here. First start. Excellent guide. Wants to guide these next two off of that. Wrong way. Can he find the correction? And I don't think you could put those darts on a tighter grouping, only finding the 60. Seems like it did deflect off the flight, but deflected the wrong way. And now Joe looking to try and punish, but that second dart might be awkward. And again, it is. Joe is one of those players who will try and force his way into that trip 20 segment, regardless of what the first two darts look like. I feel like we've seen him so very rarely go downstairs if he feels like he can see a little bit of red from the Aki. So Carignan not able to find that ton. Pushing out into the 45, so not a great visit. Still in front, though, but still not a comfortable margin. And Joe finding the one segment well above, so corrections needed here. Not able to find the correction. He's still behind Carignan, who is still looking for an opportunity now to really drop himself into the outshot territory. Leave himself something nice here. Anything past a ton will be quite comfortable. 192 remaining now, 172 remaining now, so needs at least one more. Able to grab that 60 to put him down in outshot territory just by a hair. But now the opportunity for Joe Ricard to set himself up for something better. And this is really the significance of these guys shooting in the 70-plus average range, is not only getting into outshot territory, but really getting down where, okay, you're not having to worry about, ton 30 plus. You're only having to worry about single into one triple into a double, Not having to think too hard, not having to worry too much about what your combination's actually going to look like. Able to find 80 there, so probably going to go to the 12s. Looks like he might have found a trip 12, might have found a 5. Not sure what it looks like. Able to find the 92 just in the corner there. My goodness. So Carignan with an excellent lead, but Joe Ricard 110. This is gettable. And Joe looking to certainly prove it so. 90 needed now. Not able to grab that trip 20, so Carignan is coming back. And looks like a ugly third dart there, finding the 45. So 95 scored for Joe, leaving 15. Carignan opportunities now. Really doesn't want to leave it for Joe to try and clean up the 15. Wants to get it out here. Able to find that first dart. Great guide here. 2 darts at it now. And just calamity. Busts it instead. Second dart pushes out into the 1 segment. So everything going wrong for Carignan. So unfortunate. And Joe Ricard looking to, well, be the beneficiary of that misfortune. Double 4 needed. Needs to bring it down. And he brings it well inside. So Carignan will have another crack at it. Can he get it done? You have to feel for at least the confidence for Carignan here. Needs to find this. Needs it to go. Plenty of space now. 2 darts at double 20. Well high. Needs to make that critical correction. And he nails it with that third dart. Great darts there from Mike Carignan. I believe the second dart hit the number ring. So right when he needed it most, he's able to find that big double. Extends the set out now to a 4th leg. Carignan doing very well to keep it well within the boundary range here of averages. Not exactly keeping pace with Joe, who's averaging just about 72, but Carrigan's there. He can most certainly get the job done here if he can continue to find big visits, big darts. Needs to find a dart just ever so slightly above this one. Pushes it well high, and that's such an unfortunate block. I really wonder why these guys don't move down to the trip 19, even across the trip 18, when that first dart is right under that wire. I feel like it might be better just to try maybe get lucky on another segment, but we throw so often at the 20s that, why not just keep it going? Even a big 20 is certainly points, but we'll never know when we need more. Mike Carignan looking to, Well, put 2 more in there. Great first dart from Mike. Second dart, I think, might be in the trip 5. Unlucky. And the third dart high, so I think 95 fired in there from Mike Carignan. Second dart just barely deflecting out into the left. Joe Ricard under pressure. These guys are neck and neck down the line here. First dart is just barely in there. Second dart, I believe, is just high. Might be a ton 80, might be a ton 40. And another ton 80 is found here for Joe Ricard. Finding 2 in this match already. Great darts on display already. Now Carignan has to find the big follow. Wants at minimum a ton, but would love a ton 40 if he can put another one in there. Only able to find the ton, but still, regardless, that's a great visit there from Mike. Joe still not at an out. Carignan has to find a ton plus if he wants to leave himself an out on the next visit, but Joe for great first dart. Second, well, I mean, he gets rid of the 5, so that's not terrible. And certainly not what he wanted at all, but second dart still not bad. Leaves himself 120, and I believe that leaves himself 100. See, that's easy caster math, folks. That's lovely stuff. I could do that type of math all day long. And now Mike Carignan needs a ton, minimum, to leave himself a chance here. Needs to find the middle, thinking about it. And not able to find the trip 17 that he was hunting. So 57 fired in, still well outside outshot range. And Joe Ricard now, ton needed. May go double-double. We've seen a lot of guys do this. And, well, that's a disaster of a dart as it finds its way into the big one segment. Unfortunate. And only able to grab a single 19, So we've seen Joe struggle a little bit with setting up, but again, when he doesn't have to worry about his opponent coming back to take the leg, I mean, you can just kick your feet up, relax, actually enjoy the game. Sometimes this game is stressful, and sometimes, hey, when your opponent's not on a finish, you can just relax, take a breather, think about what you want to do. You can go 10 double bull here if you really wanted to style on him. Of course, that would not be recommended, but Joe finding the first dart, 2 darts at double 20. Slight correction needed now, my goodness, and able to bank it off that second dart. Joe Ricard taking the first set here against Mike Carignan with a 74.07 set average. So Joe Ricard, he knows that Tom Curtin is absent, and he is coming for second place. And that guaranteed bye in the playoffs, Joe not messing around at all. And finds the big ton, so Joe doing so well to lead off with the solid ton. And those types of darts, those types of visits will do you so many favors. If your opponent cannot follow you in the great chase down the 501 ladder, Carignan looking to drop a third one in there, finds the third one in the 1 segment, so unfortunate. Nick in the chat says, love the show as always. Been lurking the whole season while setting up for the CSC. Nick, thank you so much for tuning in. Certainly enjoyed watching the CSC myself. You guys with all of your soft tip stuff is just crazy. Take a quick break here just to comment on some of the soft tip stuff that I've been watching. Ram Guevara Jr., my goodness, that guy is so nasty. At soft tip darts, I certainly hope to see him in person at a tournament one of these days. Of course, I don't really get to travel that much, but maybe one of these days in the future. Nick, I would love to see you as well. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you being here. Jumping back into the game here, Mike Carignan not happy with that 45. Joe Ricard sitting at 360. So not a stellar leg from both guys so far, but still plenty of space here in this second set. We'll have to see how this develops. Todd saying shoot well. Todd, thank you so much for your support this season. So the support that you have given us and that T-Up has given us has made this, well, it's made it all possible here. Mike Carignan looking to try and make a 180 possible with that first dart. Second dart just not cooperating. Great 140 regardless, able to find a little bit of space in between those 2 darts. My goodness, Mike with the eagle eye finding that space. And, oh my goodness, Joe being the Grim Reaper, looking to follow up with a big 180 and not able to grab it. But the ton 40 tit for tat for Joe Ricard. Great darts regardless. Even puts a smile on Carrigan's face. But as I was saying, certainly appreciate all the support that T-Up has given us and really gives to, well, the entire darting community here in central Massachusetts. We appreciate it. Mike able to only find 55, so pushing his way down the line, but not at the pace that is more or less required, excuse me. Joe Ricard 179, not electing to start on the 19s. It might be a interesting visit here if Joe is just not able to put that third dart together. Only finding breakfast, bacon and eggs this late at night. Curious choice, as usual, for Joe Ricard. But he's able to get down to 153, so still within range, but a low percentage shot. And now Carignan more or less scrambling to try and get into range himself. And is able to secure that big third dart. So it was looking like, well, just not a great visit at all from Carignan. He's really able to find that third dart and make it all possible. 144 remaining now from Mike. Joe 153, able to find the first dart. Not able to grab the trip 19, so that would have been ridiculous if he was able to find that, folks. That would have been nuts. But now Mike will be coming back for a 144 look. He will be looking to convert into a 144 take. It all comes down to Mike finding this first dart, finding his focus, telling himself that he can do it. Come on, Mike. 144. It's light work. It ain't no thing. Lining up for it now. Not able to find that first dart, just on the wrong side of the wire. So unfortunate. 2 in there, and we might be seeing the ugliest of breakfasts ever conceived on a dartboard. 26. That is tough. That is hard. And now Joe Ricard looking to clean up this 36. Finds trip 10, so up to double 18. And he's able to find it in 2. Bang, bang. Darts there from Joe Ricard, able to lock that in. And now he is 2 legs away. I love the reactions between these two guys. It's so funny to watch them. But now Joe is 2 legs away from getting past Carignan and getting into the semifinals here in Week 7. Now Carignan looking just to get off with a steady 60, able to do so. Joe Ricard might be enjoying the other game that's going on just to the left of him. Of course, I'll have to actually go over to my match center, see the updates. Looks like Rudge is leading Justin Burke 1-0. And Joe not really able to get off with anything strong here, only able to lead off the line with 25. So unfortunate. When you walk into a diner and you can't even afford bacon and eggs, let alone a cup of coffee, that's tough, especially when it gets cold. It's really cold in the mornings here. Central Massachusetts, it's starting to get pretty chilly. That breakfast is, well, it's important. You need to warm up. And Carignan only able to find 45. So, okay, well, Joe Ricard leads off with the stinker of 25, but Carignan is still well within reach now. If Joe can find at least 1 or 2 triples, going to stay there. And maybe he might be running out of gas, not even able to find the switch over to trip 18. So, more opportunities now for Carignan to just take a breath. Focus, relax, become zen, become one with his darts, and really start blowing up this red bit. And again, we've seen this before where that first dart, second dart just blocks the bed, and it's not able to get over the fence there with that third dart. Again, it might be better in that situation just to go on to a different segment, because it's one thing to be above and you can kind of arc the dart in there. It's another thing to have it play defense more or less, and Joe able to find the big ton, solid darts, dropping his score down to 318. So now Carignan, who was leading off in this leg, now finds himself behind 355. He needs to try and put these darts, well, one more in there would solve a lot of his problems, at least for the moment. Not able to grab the ton 40, only able to grab the ton. Still a great visit regardless from Mike Carignan. Joe Ricard now looking to catch back up. And we've seen this from a lot of guys this season where one guy hits a ton, One guy finds a good visit, the other guy fires back with a ton plus. And Joe able to do so, 218 now. Mike Carignan, 255. Cannot afford to slow down at all. Wants to make the correction up if he can. He's just more or less walking the dog in there, wants to walk it home. And he does walk the dog home. My goodness, ton fired. Take that dog for a walk, Mike. My goodness, able to leave himself 155. Solid. And now Joe Ricard, 218, looking to get himself within range. Wants another one of those. And he will leave himself an out. So now Mike Carignan, low percentage shot. Joe Ricard sitting all the way back on 160 as well. So it's not going to be easy for either guy here, but Joe with arguably the easier of the two. Mike not able to find the first dart in the combination. Second dart is found. Obviously would have loved to trade, but he will be switching now unless he's feeling adventurous and wants to stay on it. I think he second-guessed himself. And he only is able to find, I think, 9 with that third dart right in between. I believe he actually, right in the corner of that 333. So leaving himself 66. Still a great visit. And Joe Ricard, well, that is a poor first dart. Well outside. And the second dart just, it's all falling apart here for Joe as he tries to clean up these first two. Not able to find anything really to salvage it. So with 160 remaining, only able to find 26 to leave him 134. Numbers everywhere. Mike Carignan needs 66. Able to find the first dart in that trip 10, so double 18. Didn't go quite as easily as Joe made it look, but still a dart for it and can't find it. So now having to rely on mistakes. Joe Ricard, 134. We've seen him take out some monster numbers. And this would be included in that list, and it won't go, unfortunately, now. Joe looking to try and make it happen with that third. Is able to find that third in there for 94 scored. So he will leave himself 40. Carignan, do or die visit here. Cannot afford to leave Joe his favorite double. Wants it now. It's a great guide if he can find the line, find the correction. Not go on an adventure, needs to bring it home. And he's just on the wrong side of the wire. Tough darts there for Carignan. Wow. Now Joe Ricard with his favorite double 20. Going down to double 10 now. And are we going to see some double trouble? Yes, we are. He pulls it inside by a millimeter, if that. So Carignan, who thought he was more or less done and dusted, now coming back for another look, needs to focus. Find the double 18. Now across the double 9, getting awkward. Needs to bring it home. And some double trouble from both guys here. Carignan looking deflated after that third dart. Finds its way into the big 9. He will have to burn a dart on the next visit if Joe is unable to find 10. 2 darts remaining. The third dart needs to correct. And it looks like both guys struggling here in the back half of this leg. And this is very common with a lot of darts players. Able to find double 20, double 16. But when it gets into the dog days here of these legs, it gets hard real quick. And he's able to find the double 4, make it look easy. Carignan evening up this set. 1 leg apiece. Again, not satisfied with how that went down, but sometimes you can't be choosy when you're just trying to get out of a leg with a dub. And Joe looking to rock it off with a big 180, only able to find the 140, but still a great way to get going. Solid stuff there from Joe. And now Mike Carignan under immediate pressure. And this is what I was talking about in the previous leg, where if you can just get going with a ton plus every time, really get into the head of your opponent that you're like, you know what? I'm going to get off with a solid score every single time. You have to keep pace. You have to keep up. You just put that pressure on the opponent right from the start. And the 41, not going to do it here for Carignan. Joe able to take at least one breath before he lines up. And Carrigan's going to be sweating bullets in the background if you guys can see him. Joe able to keep this pressure on, not able to find another ton 40, but able to find the ton. And now Carignan, look at the score difference already, 460 to 261, really needs some help from his darts. If he can implore them to find their way into that red bit. The second dart was right there. And looks like he wanted to go down to find that trip 19. Didn't like the line on that triple 20, but Carignan more or less looking defeated. Not able to walk away with any triple, and Joe looking to just keep the pressure going. Scoring for fun, it seems. The big ton 40 is found. So Joe, 121 after 3. This is his best leg of the night so far. Are we going to see a 12-dart leg here from Joe? Mike Carignan really got a feel for him. When your opponent's playing this well, there's nothing more that you can do than hope and pray. And only able to find 30, so might already be thinking about the next leg. Joe Ricard, this would be a hold of throw if he can lock down this 121. But man, what a spectacular hold it would be. Not able to find the first dart. Unfortunate. 112 remaining, I believe. 52 remaining. He's able to, not able to find that third dart. So he was going for double 20, maybe, not sure, judging from the way that dart landed in the board. All these guys laughing, Mike giving him just a lot of trouble about that one. But you know, what can you do? This is a game. You're supposed to have fun from time to time. And Carignan looking like he's turning it on just a little too late here. Able to find the ton, but his race, at least in this leg, might have already been run. 52 remaining now for Joe Ricard, 12 or 20. Pick your destiny. And now he's going downstairs to double 16. Missing it by a hair's width. And not able to find the correction, but still no pressure coming from Mike Carignan all the way back on 287. So Joe, not worrying just yet. But these are the types of visits that start to get into your head, especially as you move on through the later rounds of any event, any tournament. If you're not able to find them, and that's a humongous round of 9 here from Mike Carignan. Big round of 9. Unlucky there from Mike. But now Joe Ricard, double 8, does not want to faff about here, and that's a hair's width again. Going inside almost the same distance across the double 4. And here we go. Double trouble again for Joe. Carignan not doing himself any favors, 278. Nowhere within reach. But, as I was saying, as you face, again, stronger and stronger opponents, and you're not able to take these more or less laid-up shots, you really have to do well to not let yourself focus on those opportunities lost, opportunities missed. Just need to keep yourself focused on what lies in front of you. And Joe now going down to double 2. And he's able to find it with that second dart. So while he was rounding the houses, he was able to eventually get out of that leg. And now Joe Ricard is 1 leg away from tying Tom Curtin for second place. I'm not sure what the tiebreakers come down to because I don't have all the stats in front of me. But may have the opportunity to knock him out of second place and push Tom down into third. Mike able to lead off with a very strong ton here, so great darts there from Mike Carignan. The scoreboard update looks like Rudge and Justin are still at 1 set in favor of Rudge to 0. Hope to see how that match develops. Joe able to lead off with a really good score as well. Not quite as good as Mike Carignan, but you know what? Keeping pace, 404, score not found. 401 now remaining for Mike Carignan. And those first 2 darts are a little low. Might be playing some defense here. Needs to be careful. He's able to get over the fence, so 2 tons from Mike Carignan. Doing very well now to find that big power scoring that's more or less been absent so far. And here comes Joe. Not able to find that second one, but he's able to grab it with the third. So the power scoring arriving for both gentlemen in force. Who is going to be able to hold their nerve, keep the consistency? That's a great first start. Great guide there from Mike. Wants to go the other way, but still a beautiful marker. And is able to find the third, so 3 tons in a row now from Mike. Heavy lifting, heavy duty from Mike Carignan. And 264 now for Joe. A ton here will leave him an out, so he will be hunting for it. Can he grab it? No, he cannot, so 204 remaining. Mike, opportunity now to have a look, or excuse me, get down to a look first. Big opportunity missed, actually, for Joe. Even a 164, as improbable as it may be, it's still a chance. It's still a chance. That's how a lot of these guys think. They want to give themselves as many chances as possible throughout the match, and that is, unfortunately, a chance blown here as Mike Carignan, 26, will leave him hanging on a 175. So 204 now for Joe. Wants to get down to something a lot more comfortable than ton 30 plus. Second dart is going to do him a lot of favors here. Wants at least another one. Not able to grab it, but will leave himself 104. So now the pressure really all comes down to Mike. If he's able to find a big visit here, really able to pressure Joe's throw in the coming visit, to see if he can find the second one that he knows that's a tough one. He's not able to find the 19, so Joe Ricard, he was challenged down the line here, but with Carignan not even coming down to a high ton plus out, looking to clean up here. 86 remaining. Might stay there, actually, just to avoid messing about, just keep the consistency, and he will leave himself 50. So not the right way to play, but in a situation like that, when your opponent is still marooned, you more or less get afforded those chances here. Carignan trying to make the corrections needed, trying to get down to some serious pressure, and it looks like Carrigan's race in the regular season here might have been run. This is his last chance. If Joe misses, 2 darts at double 16, I don't think he's going to miss. Up to double 8. And he's able to not pin it. Oh, my goodness. Both guys in shock that third dart was not there. And now Carignan outside 135 opportunity to even up the set. 110 remaining. Oh, my goodness. The second dart was so close. Wrong side of the wire. He wanted 60 to leave the double bowl. But the second dart just did not cooperate, and Joe Ricard, double 8, able to find it with the first dart. So, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Ricard has taken out Mike Carignan here, finding critical 2 points and tying up in the standings against Tom Curtin. So now it comes down to tiebreakers. And if Joe's able to win one more game, he will certainly have the points in hand. But we'll have to see how everything else shakes up. So, back to the Marty Cam here. Ladies and gentlemen, wow, what a game. Mike was really pushing hard. They were able to find some good darts. But Joe was able to stay in front, stay ahead. And really, the power scoring really separated out Mike and Joe there as Joe was able to, get in front so often, so quickly, and put the pressure on Mike almost the entire way down the line. And it's so hard to recover from when you're having to play catch-up so early. It really can all start to spiral out of control. It's so hard to find that confidence, find that, find any semblance of comfort in a game when you're having to play catch-up right from the get-go. So unfortunately for Mike Carignan, that's his regular season done. We'll have to see how the other matches play out, but I think for the moment he is safe. We'll have to see. Quick note before we cut to commercial break. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are in the Worcester area, please make your way down to 70 James Street, Worcester, Tee Up Tap Room. They are doing a food pantry, accepting donations to a food pantry for Bucky's Food Pantry. So if you donate any non-perishable food for the entire month of November, you can get yourself a $2 mixed drink of your choosing, as long as you bring in some canned food, non-perishable stuff. You can donate to a great cause, to those who need it this time of year, who need it most. So again, if you are in the greater Worcester area, central Massachusetts, come on down to Tee Up, donate some food, get yourself a discounted mixed drink, and maybe play some darts. It's a great place to play darts. What a thought, huh? All right, ladies and gentlemen, commercial break time. We will see you guys in just a few minutes. Stick around. Be back soon.
Since 2014, U.S. Sports and Apparel has been helping teams, companies, and organizations look their best. From embroidered polos to customized uniforms and fan gear, they have the expertise and the people to do it all. Their catalog includes spiritwear, athletic equipment, and promotional items. From mugs and golf balls to jackets and hoodies, everything is branded to your specifications. For gear that works as hard as you do, trust in U.S. Sports and Apparel to get the job done right. Looking for your next night out in Worcester? Tee Up Tap Room is the place to be. With 5 golf simulator bays, more than 20 dartboards, a full bar and kitchen, and leagues for both golf and darts running year-round, Tee Up is the go-to spot for competition and community. Swing by Tee Up Tap Room at 70 James Street in Worcester and see why it's the city's home for golf, darts, and good times. Balboni Darts is the name in darts for central Massachusetts and beyond. From dart sets and boards to accessories and apparel, they're the one-stop shop for any player looking to stock up or upgrade. Whether you're stepping up to the line for the first time or competing for trophies and checks, Balboni Darts is the store that the champion selects. Looking for a way to support the Worcester Premier League directly? Check out our coffee page. Every dollar donated goes right back into the league, helping us cover operations and build a bigger prize pool for the players. Your support makes it possible for us to keep the WPL growing season after season. Once again, your donation helps us keep the competition thriving and the darts flying. Visit our page at coffee.com/WPLdarts to make a contribution today.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back from break, and I have some scoreboard updates for you all. If we go to the bracket, we just watched Joe Ricard take out Mike Carignan 2-0, and I have confirmation that Mark Rudge has taken out Justin Burke in a nail-biter of a game, 2-1. So congratulations, Mark Rudge. With that victory, I think you put yourself out of the danger zone more or less. Now Justin Burke is going to have to wait and see who is going to advance with our next set of games. Of course, we have Ron Sargent and Berto Santos on deck. Berto fighting for his, WPL playoff chances here. If he can find a win against Ron and find another win against Nick Soldo, he may secure himself a spot in the WPL Season 3 playoffs. But for right now, he has quite the task in front of him, getting past Ron. We'll have to see how that game pans out in just a couple of moments here. But again, Nick Soldo, for everybody tuning in late, Tom Curtin is still coming back from competing internationally in Budapest, so he is out for this week. Nick Soldo will get the bye, moving on to round 2, he's going to await the winner of Ron or Berto, whoever advances. But things are already starting to shake out. The playoffs are already starting to take shape. If we go to the board view, these guys are getting warmed up. Oh, my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. Looks like their game has already started, so we are actually late to the party. Sorry, folks. I had no idea that they started. 59 there scored from Ron Sargent, so coming in a little bit late to this game. Sorry, 68 scored. Whoa. I'm not sure what's going on with this scoreboard here. There we go. 59 score there from Ron Sargent, correcting his score down to 104. And Berto already half step behind here, trying to find his way in there. Might be using new darts as well. New equipment for Berto, making some changes in the final week of Season 3, regular season. Could be Berto's final week of Season 3, depending on how things pan out. And Ron going for 54 double ball and getting punished with the double 9. So we have joined this game late, folks, but we are already seeing some ridiculousness from Ron Sargent. So we'll have to see how that plays out, leaving himself 7, I believe. And Berto all the way back on 2-2-5. And 60 only found, so Berto able to find his way down to 165, but 165 is not enough for a chance at an out. Ron looking to correct. 3-2-2-2 is the way he chooses. Up to the madhouse double 1, and he finds it with that third dart. So Ron Sargent, 82.33, taking out that 7. Actually hurts his average considerably, so 71.57, no slouch here in this opening leg. And again, I apologize for jumping in late. I had no idea that they started. But now we get a fresh start here for the second leg of this game. Berto only able to lead off with 41. Ron just above that red bit there with that first start. Not able to make the correction with the second. Able to find it with the third, though. Ron really starting to turn a corner with his game. Last season, we saw of Ron Sargent a lot of trouble with math, a lot of trouble with consistency. I mean, he was always able to find big visits, find big numbers, but he wasn't always able to put it together, especially in the back half of legs when he was trying to get out. But now Ron Sargent has turned into a new beast. The old boat has gotten some new engines. Not able to find the big 180 there. You can see how he felt about it with only ton 40 scored. It's not the whole chalupa. He wanted the whole 180. And Berto Santos not finding much of anything. Great third dart to really save that visit, but the first two, quite scary to stare down. Putting all that pressure on that third dart. Berto, great darts there. Ron looking for the big correction himself. Can't grab it, so only able to find 45. And Berto now half step behind, but he's able to start finding a home here on this triple 20 segment. So if he can continue this, finding a big ton, he might actually look to give Ron some serious trouble here. One of the unfortunate things about Berto's game this entire season. He's been able to find these stretches of time where his game looks so good, and then he just not able to keep it going. Almost like runs out of gas or something, and Berto certainly feeling the pressure now as he's fighting for his Season 3 life here. Able to drop his score down to 164, so smart darts there from Berto to leave himself an out. But Ron Sargent, 156, not going to be able to force it. Looking for a big ton here to leave himself 56. He's able to grab it. So 164 versus 56. I feel like it has to go here for Berto. Not able to find that first part of the combination. Able to pick up a trip 16. So, unfortunately for Berto, that will not get it done. Will not get him under a ton. Now Ron Sargent looking to go for 2 legs on the spin. If he can find this 56. Looks like there might be some issue here with the tablet. Not sure what's going on there. Looks like Ron's just more or less, look at him. He's vibing. He's bopping out, keeping his hands warm. Looks like there might be some serious tablet trouble here. 56 there found for Roberto, leaving himself 108. So Ron, 56 remaining, able to find the 16 for double 20. Able to grab it in 2 darts, so a clinical take there from Ron Sargent. Again, another case where the average is higher than the out. So hitting the out, well, never mind. It actually brought his average up to 79.11, so great darts there from Ron. Again, this guy has ice in his veins, trying to keep his hands warm. But cold hands will not deter this man from getting what he wants, and that is to retain his spot above the WPL Season 3 standings in a big 1-2-5 to lead off there for the Dreamboat. My goodness. Solid darts here for Ron. And Berto just looking to try and hold station, hold steady, only able to find 55. And Ron, the Dreamboat, already setting sail for his first stop of this leg. Looking for another destination stop if he can find a big ton plus. Can't do it. So having some fun on the cruise lines, maybe going for some drinks, some free food, maybe some dancing. Ron Sargent looking to try and find his way into more fun activities on his cruise. Berto able to pick up a ton there. Great stuff. Dropping his score down to 346. Ron 316, so still in front. And this is Ron's leg to hold, so theoretically Ron should get down to an out first. Not able to grab that trip 20, so push 2 darts outside into that 5 segment. Only able to pick up 40. And now Berto, big opportunity here to try and catch back in front if he can grab a triple. Can't do it, only locking in 41, so unfortunate round there for Berto. Ron, 276 now. First dart's a great guide if he can find a little bit more elevation. Okay, maybe too much elevation. Hone it down a little bit, only able to find 60. And that jersey that Ron is wearing, DPNE, Dart Players New England jersey, I believe it has the Dreamboat nickname brandished across it. Berto able to find a solid ton there, jumps in front just barely. I think it was a joke last season that Ron's nickname really wasn't the Dreamboat. It was more or less a WPL thing, and this is just my understanding. It could have been a nickname, but he's really, well, embraced the nickname, embraced the personality, and really enjoys it now, which is always great. Love the fact that he loves the nickname. Don't want to give somebody a nickname that they don't enjoy. That would be quite awkward. Ron Sargent, 151, finds the first part going down to trip 17s. Pulls it way high, so now going back up to 20s. Able to find 97. That would have been a nasty take if he could have found it. That trip 17, excuse me. Berto, 145, finds the first part down to trip 15 or trip 19. Wanted to go a different route. Okay. So 79 scored here. Got to bust out the old calculator because my caster math is just not that great. So he has 66 remaining. The old calculator doing me proud there, only able to grab the single 10 with that third dart. I wish my mental math was that good, folks. That would have been crazy if I was able to calculate that quickly. So now Ron, 54 remaining, had no trouble with 56, so you have to assume this is going to be light work here. Going for 18, double 18, and making it look good. My goodness. Ron Sargent, no messing about here on the doubles. If he's not at 100% double rate here, I'm not sure what his doubles percentage is, but that is, well, it's nasty, and Berto's already finding himself a set down here after a very short period of play. So Berto under pressure. The sirens are blaring. The emergency lights are flickering. And Ron not even reacting. He almost doesn't seem to have any emotion on him, just singularly focused on scoring big visits here. Solid ton there for Ron. And Berto looking to try and fill it up to answer. Able to find the big ton 40 from Berto, so a great start to this leg. Great darts from both guys. And Ron, here he comes, the dreamboat. Already catching some waves, so now looking to go around the world. Wanted all the cricket triples there if he could find it, but still a great visit nonetheless. Berto even laughing about it. He's enjoying it. Ron putting on a display here for everybody. But Berto is still not that far behind, so you cannot count this man out. Another ton 40 maybe. Ton 40 for Berto Santos, so great darts on display, able to leave himself 161. And now Ron Sargent on the back foot after a awesome display of scoring firepower there from Berto. Bombs away for Ron, though, not at an out. Berto looking to jump in front even further. Wants to put some serious pressure on Ron to try and knock down this 168. Berto has 121 remaining. Able to grab a single 17, but that's still a good big single. The worst thing that you could do in that situation is hit a 3 or a 2. 104 is certainly manageable. And now Ron Sargent leaving himself 108. 88 remaining now. So there are many ways to go about 88. And looks like Ron wanted the single 18. So pointing to the camera there, he knows that we caught that. Leaving himself 87 and Berto 104 remaining. Now finds the first part for 44. Finds 12 for 32. Able to find the big 104. Berto Santos with the big ton plus take. Putting on a strong defensive effort here to hold throw. What a take from Berto. Nice darts. Now Ron Sargent, a man who we haven't seen that much emotion from this game. Has his cage been rattled a little bit? Has Berto demanded some attention from the dreamboat? And Berto looking to get underway again here with something fierce. Looks like only 85, but still a great way to get off the line. 416 to 441. Ron looking to put on some serious pressure. Not able to find a pair in there. Only able to find a ton, so still a great visit. But man, Berto has been able to really find the triple 20 segment, really using these markers well. Of course, as I say that, Caster's jinx. Only able to pick up 45 there, so Berto just barely hanging in there, keeping pace. Ron, this is his leg to hold throw, and he is starting to make this look easy, folks. How many ton-plus rounds have we seen so far in this game from Ron? 83.14 average. My goodness. Immediate pressure on Berto. And this, this is one of those things that I was saying in the previous game between Joe and Mike that, when your opponent is on an absolute heater of a leg where they just don't seem to be missing the triple 20 segment, what can you do other than shrug your shoulders and just say, well, I'm giving it all I've got, Captain, but it's just not enough. And Ron picking up the 59 there. Still, 142, already at an out. Berto needs another one, you feel, to just try and hang in there. Does find the big 140, so a great visit. Able to drop the score down, but not able to get into outshot range. So 82 remaining now for Ron, finding that first dart. Wants trip 14. Not able to find it. Just barely grazed it to leave 68 now. So, Ron doing the calculations, carrying those numbers, using his multiplication skills, able to find that 18, so will leave himself a solid 50. And we saw a very cheeky attempt at hitting the double bull with 50 left. You have to be an absolute madman to do that. You have to be. And I have a feeling that Ron Sargent, after that visit from Berto Santos, only able to find 22, is going to go straight at the button here. I have a feeling he's going to do it. Oh, boo. Ron's no fun. I don't want to party on the Dreamboat cruise line, but he ignores what the critics have to say for sure. Able to make that 50 look easy. 2 darts, bang, bang darts. Ron able to tie up this set now, 1 leg apiece. Berto looking to get off the line in a hurry. If he can just hold the line, able to pick up 81 to get ahead in a hurry. And now Ron Sargent, again, under some pressure here to find that triple 20 segment. 2 darts just elevated above, needs to drop it, can't do it. So this has really been a tale of 2 sets here, ladies and gentlemen. That first set that we arrived slightly late into, Berto got taken out 3 legs really quickly by Ron, who just was not missing. Then Berto came out with an absolute heater of a leg himself, and now maybe has startled Ron a little bit, maybe is shaking the confidence. Ron not able to put the darts together here. Berto held his throw, looking to hold here again if he can find some big numbers. Needs to walk that 3rd dart in there. Can't do it, goes too high, but does keep those darts steady. Will leave himself 324. Ron on 397. First dart again, elevated, needs to find the correction down just in that top left corner. If he can find 2, but he pushes it wide. 95, I believe, found. Indeed it is for Ron Sargent, so jumping ahead ever so slightly. And now Berto Santos looking to try and make the correction down. Needs it, can't get it done. 45 locked in, not enough. Ron Sargent, who was able to pick up a big visit, now looking for more. Once the correction goes high again, so really, unlucky. Tough 3rd there for the Dreamboat. Finds the right elevation, but not the right range. And now Berto really can't afford to find more of those. Needs at least 1 triple here. Can't get it done. 41 found. Might have been a deflection off the flight. Tough darts from both guys. And here we go again. Ron, almost like clockwork, finding that first dart ever so slightly elevated above that triple 20 segment. Can't find any in there. So both guys starting to flounder around a little bit. Berto 238. Even closer now. Oh my goodness, how close can you get? Oh, how close can you get? I mean, you can tell by the reaction of Berto. He can't believe that either. 193, Berto first under 200, but Ron just behind him. That might be a tough blocker to get around. And that's the danger of hanging around, finding the 3rd dart. Great correction down to that trip 19 segment. But that's the danger of hanging around if that first dart is just blocking it. Here we go again. These guys just doing the harder shot of getting close, but not able to get in there. Berto finally able to pinch it, putting his score down to 93. Ron, 122 remaining now. Only finding 3, so 119 remaining now for Ron. Able to find the big 19. Going back upstairs, only able to find 20, so 80 remains for Ron. 93, a very gettable 93 here for Berto. If he can just find the combination. Taking a breath, Berto focusing up. Knows he can get it done. 7 found. Leaves him 86, so trip 18 now to leave himself double 16. Doing some mental math. Trip 18 seems to be the target. Not able to grab it, wrong side of the wire. Leaves himself 74, so now eyeballing the 14 target. he will be in front of Ron. But now Berto giving up some seriously important chances to Ron, who has looked so good on his doubles, able to find 42 with that last dart to leave himself double 16, so serious pressure put on by Berto. But now, Ron Sargent, oh, I have a feeling he might go double-double. I'm going to say that every single time, but I really do believe it. He's eyeballing the top of the board. Oh, he wanted it. So first dart is safe, 60 remains, and a huge missed dart for that. Wow, I can't believe that he pulled that far wide. Ron upset with himself there, and Berto wants double 16, double 8 now. And he busts. Berto busts. Unfortunate second dart on the wrong side of the wire, giving up another chance here for Ron, who should be dead in the water. But instead, he is still alive, and he wants to take this leg to steal it down to double 10. Able to find it with the second dart, so a break, a critical break. And now Ron looking to hold his throw and take this game 2-0. Just needs one more leg. The Dreamboat just about to set sail. And not looking to settle for anything less. He has played so well this season, is currently atop the standings. He wants to finish the regular season as the man to beat. Berto finding a critical triple 20 here, wants another one. The throw looks to be so smooth, so figured out here from Berto. Able to keep a nice rhythm on those tosses. And Ron looking for a minor correction now. Drops it a little too low. And able to find the third one, split the difference between those first. Able to find that ton. So now Berto Santos, 416, needs to keep pace, needs to find a triple. Great second dart if he can use that line. Unfortunately, he can't. So now Ron starting to find his legs, starting to find his sea legs, excuse me. Second dart not able to find its way in there. Third dart not able to find its way in there either. So things are not looking good here for Berto. 371 remaining. Ron sitting at 283. Berto needs to start hitting tons. 60s will not do. Able to locate the ton to keep the pressure on. Only a measly couple points in front of the Dreamboat. But if Ron finds darts like that, things may start to change in the favor of Berto Santos. Not able to find a triple 20, only finding 55. So a big visit here from Berto can really change the whole characteristics of this leg. If he can find a triple 20, needs it more than anything. Not able to grab it, so 45 found. Not enough. Both guys neck and neck more or less. And that first dart will be a dagger for Ron Sargent. Wants to fill it up if he can. Able to find the trip 18 for a big 1, 3, 4. Solid round there for Ron to leave himself 94. And unless Berto can find a correction, a serious correction here, his race in Season 3 might be run. Ron Sargent, 94 remaining. Not able to grab the first part of the combo or the second part. Curious second dart there. So 19 scored. Leaves himself 75. And after that third dart, will leave him 58. So 181, no out for Berto. Marooned on 181 Island. Can only look to set up now. Unable to find the second dart. Able to find a third, so a little bit of pressure on, but he will have to rely on heavy mistakes from the Dreamboat, who has put up a solid game. Ron taking a breath, settling himself. 18 found, 2 darts at double 20, and it's over. Ron Sargent able to secure this game with a 76.57. Berto playing very well, averaging 67.12, but unfortunately it was not enough to overcome the Dreamboat. And with that, Berto has fallen below the relegation line. And he will be one of the confirmed players that we have in our mid-season relegation event. So unfortunate for Berto. He played a great season. He certainly played a great game against Ron there, but Ron was simply too much to handle. He sits atop the standings now, securing his place, I believe, at number 1. So congratulations, Ron Sargent. We'll have to see if he can find one last weekly victory here. So great darts, both guys. Ron able to get it done. We're going to go to commercial break, but before we do that, guys, if you guys are in the greater Worcester, central Massachusetts area, please head on down to Tee Up Tap Room, 70 James Street, Worcester. They are doing a food pantry donation drive where if you come in with non-perishable food for the entire month of November, they will give you a $2 mixed drink of your choice. Again, it's that time of year where it starts to get cold. Food is starting to become scarce, not because of the winter, but just because of the whole, everyone's looking to put food on their plates and whatnot. But hey, if you can give to those that need it most this season, please consider doing so at Tee Up Tap Room. They will be so happy that you did. 70 James Street, Worcester for the entire month of November. Hey, if you're there, get a nice drink. You can play some darts, some cornhole, maybe some golf on their upgraded Apogee systems. Regardless, guys, plenty of fun stuff to do there, but more fun on the way here at the WPL Week 7, Season 3. We'll see you guys in just a few short minutes. Stick around.
Looking for your next night out in Worcester? Tee Up Tap Room is the place to be. With 5 golf simulator bays, more than 20 dartboards, a full bar and kitchen, and leagues for both golf and darts running year-round, Tee Up is the go-to spot for competition and community. Swing by Tee Up Tap Room at 70 James Street in Worcester and see why it's the city's home for golf, darts, and good times. Balboni Darts is the name in darts for central Massachusetts and beyond. From dart sets and boards to accessories and apparel, they're the one-stop shop for any player looking to stock up or upgrade. Whether you're stepping up to the line for the first time or competing for trophies and checks, Balboni Darts is the store that the champion selects. Since 2014, U.S. Sports and Apparel has been helping teams, companies, and organizations look their best. From embroidered polos to customized uniforms and fan gear, they have the expertise and the people to do it all. Their catalog includes spiritwear, athletic equipment, and promotional items. From mugs and golf balls to jackets and hoodies, everything is branded to your specifications. For gear that works as hard as you do, trust in U.S. Sports and Apparel to get the job done right. Looking for a way to support the Worcester Premier League directly? Check out our coffee page. Every dollar donated goes right back into the league, helping us cover operations and build a bigger prize pool for the players. Your support makes it possible for us to keep the WPL growing season after season. Once again, your donation helps us keep the competition thriving and the darts flying. Visit our page at coffee.com/WPLdarts to make a contribution today.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are so back from break. My goodness. Stephen, Marty, Martinez here. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Week 7, Season 3 of the Worcester Premier League. My goodness, what a season it's been so far. We've had some awesome games. We've had some amazing finishes. And man, oh man, it's really so sad to actually just have it all coming to an end in pretty short order here. But all good things must come to an end. But fortunately for you guys tonight, we still have more darts ahead of us. My goodness, if we go very quickly over to our board cam, you can see Nick Soldo, the sure shot, and Ron Sargent, the dreamboat. They're warming up. But before we get to that, ladies and gentlemen, it is getting quite chilly here in New England. It's early November now, and it's starting to dip into the high 30s here at night. We have the perfect solution for you guys here at the Worcester Premier League. Hey, if you want to look good and stay warm in the coming winter months, guys, go ahead, scan that QR code. Get yourself some shirts, some hats, hoodies, plenty of colors, plenty of sizes available. They are proudly made by our sponsor, U.S. Sports and Apparel. They have been a fantastic partner to us this entire season. So, guys, again, if you want to stay warm in the coming winter months or just look good when leaving the house, go ahead and scan that QR code. Pick yourself up some merchandise. Rock that stuff year-round. I was watching some funny interaction between Nick and Ron on my little camera here. But go ahead, scan that QR code. Check it out. We'll be glad that you did. So going over to our bracket here, we have seen Ron Sargent take out Berto Santos. Fortunately, Berto's hopes of making the WPL playoffs this season have ended with that defeat. So very tough there for Berto. He will be facing relegation, the coming midseason relegation tournament. Nick Soldo getting the bye against Tom Curtin, who is currently traveling back from Budapest. Tom has been competing internationally for the past 2 weeks, representing the United States abroad, I believe in the WDF system. So congratulations, Tom, for making it all the way out there to represent the country. Appreciate that. Nick Soldo is the beneficiary of that bye, but really no favors here as he has to face off against Ron Sargent. Really quickly, if we go to the other side of the bracket, Joe Ricard has taken out Mike Carignan. He's facing Mark Rudge, who was able to secure a critical victory there on Justin Burke. So I believe if Rudge is able to beat Joe, serious points going Rudge's way. If we go over to the standings here, again, not sure how everything's going to play out. I believe Joe is currently tied with Tom Curtin with 16 points. Nick, even with the 2 points that he's gained from the bye, from Tom Curtin, he needs more points to potentially pass Justin Burke, who currently sitting at 6 points. So Nick more or less has to make the finals tonight to have a chance. But man, oh man, does he have a tough customer of an opponent, facing him. I'll give these guys the go-ahead here. So I've given them the go-ahead. Final darts being thrown here. Nick Soldo, back from injury last week. Last Monday, he unfortunately had a foot injury. I believe he rolled his foot awkwardly, so just not able to put pressure on it. Healed up relatively quickly. Now he is back in action here, wanting to make a splash in Week 7. Able to find a single bowl there. So, again, it's a pool party. The whole point of a pool party is to get in the pool. And Ron not able to, get in the water here. So a man who is so used to, being around the ocean, being around large bodies of water, not wanting to get into the pool there. And Nick will be leading off here in our semifinal. We'll see what Nick Soldo can do here. First 2 darts not looking so great. A big 5. Big reaction from the sure shot. Unfortunate way to lead off there. And Ron looking to follow up. Able to find 2 triples, looking for a full spread, can't find it. Nick Soldo looking for a little bit of redemption here on the second visit to the board. So tough when you lead off with a big visit like a 5. Really does wonders for your mental game. But Nick, I know for sure, will not be too fazed by that. He has been in plenty of these types of situations where maybe you don't get off the line in the best of circumstances, but again, he's been here, there, everywhere, so it's not going to bother him. Ron Sargent certainly looking mighty fierce tonight. He was averaging, I want to say, above 80 for the majority of the game against Berto, and only really dropped when it came down to outs. So Ron certainly in his element tonight. Nick trying to get dialed in here, only able to find a correction with that single 19. So unfortunate, only finding 40. But looks like Ron might be a little discombobulated here, making it look a little tough to try and find the trip 20. You can see from the reaction there of Ron Sargent, he wasn't even quite sure what's going on. So Nick, well within range here, wants to fill it up. Second dart goes well wide. Third dart looking for the correction. Able to put 2 in there, so a solid 1-2-1 from Nick Soldo. The sure shot, looking sure of that score. And Ron Sargent not looking so sure of his darts right now. Not able to find the big correction downstairs. Not able to find it with the third either. So Nick Soldo, it's not a stellar average of 56.50, but it's enough to stay in front so far. First dart's in there, looks beautiful. Second dart again goes wide, but plenty of space. Looks like he's only able to grab 83 there. So Nick playing some great stuff, finding these darts when he needs them. And Ron sitting all the way back at 3-3-1. First triple is found here for Ron, though, as he looks to get his campaign underway. Only able to find, I believe, 97. Yep, 97. So Nick Soldo now sitting at 192. Huge opportunity to really land himself on a nice out if he can continue. Find more of those 2 in there. Oh, he wants to do it for the style points, and he doesn't do it for the style points, but he hits a big 140. That would have been nice if he was able to find it. Ron Sargent again all the way back on 2-3-4, not able to get himself down to something workable even. Well, in the ton actually does save him, drops him down to 134. So now Nick Soldo, 52. 12 or 20. He's probably going to go 12. Up to double 20 now. Wants a small correction down. And able to find it with the third dart. So Nick Soldo not messing around. 3 darts needed. Hovering around a 70 average here in the opening leg. Nick Soldo showing up to play. And Ron Sargent, maybe if his cage hadn't been rattled against Berto in that second set, maybe Nick can get the job done here with a couple more visits like that. Ron able to pick up the big ton. What can Nick do to answer? Not able to find anything useful with those first 2 darts. Not even able to save it with a switch down to those 19s. So tough visit there from Nick Soldo, but he was able to recover after hitting a big 5. But Ron looking like he's had enough of the fun and games. No more entertainment for tonight. You're welcome to eat dinner, but you're not welcome to stay and be entertained, says Ron, looking to kick Nick out of his game. And Nick, unfortunate, might be looking at another, well, that's another 5 pound for Nick Soldo. Again, there's a smile, there's a shake of the head, but I know it's pure frustration. He just can't believe what's going on, and Ron not looking at slowing down, able to find the big ton here, and Nick, after 2 visits to the board, still stuck in the 400. So, looking to find something to build the confidence. Second dart well outside. Third dart not able to find anything, so only finding 32, I believe, with those 3 darts. And Mr. Ron the Dreamboat Sargent, 161, won't go here. And looks like he is just going to try and find 1 in there. Can't do it, only finding 45. So both guys not giving us their best stuff here. These averages have swung wildly in the favor of Nick in the first leg and now in the favor of Ron here in the second leg. Finally able to pick up a trip 20 here. Nick Soldo able to find 81, so that will do well to drop his score down. But Ron all the way down at 116, so a little too late, unfortunately, for the sure shot. And Ron won't have it go this time, but not under any pressure to really force it, so doesn't have to do much other than just knock the score down for right now in a comfortable manner that he sees suit for him. Nick looking to try and grab that 20, but not sure what's going on with these darts, actually. He might be using converted soft-tip darts, given the way that these darts are bouncing off one another, but I have to ask him about it after the match. Ron looking at double 20. Wants to bring that a little low. Minor adjustment needed. Not able to grab it, so Ron starting to be frustrated, starting to do some dances here on the way to pick up his darts. And Nick, again, even though there's no pressure on Ron to find it, he just wants it for his own sake. Able to squeak a second dart into that triple 20 segment. Not able to grab 2, only able to find 83. So, good find there for Nick, but Ron, double 10 needed. Finds the big 6, so now it's starting to get awkward, folks. Double 7 needed. Just outside. Ron does not want to make this weird, and he doesn't. He keeps it steady. Finds the big double 7, finds the big 14. So now we have a tied set, ladies and gentlemen. Nick was well behind there, sitting all the way back at 230, but now new game. And I certainly know that Nick, when he gets going, his game is pretty dang good. Only able to find, I believe, 60. No, 45. So that third dart was pushed outside by those flights. And Ron looking for the correction now. I don't think that second dart's in, excuse me. Not able to grab it with the third. So both guys off to a slower start here in this third leg. And what can Nick Soldo do? The sure shot. Again, when he's on, his darts are sound. Looking like he doesn't like the angle, wants to go downstairs. And I think Nick is actually one of the better players here in the WPL. When they don't like the look on the 20s, they more often convert on going down to those 19s. So Might be seeing a lot more of that later tonight as this game develops. Ron only able to pick up another 43, so mid-40s visit. Will not be happy with those darts. Nick Soldo again in front by just a few points, looking to convert into a solid visit here, only able to find big numbers. 59 is found there for the sure shot. Ron Sargent looking to catch back up, electing to avoid the 20s altogether. Not happy with the way it's gone so far. And Ron, well, there might be a mutiny aboard the USS Dreamboat from what it seems. Internal troubles on deck, as Ron is not able to find consistent darts here. So questionable what's going on with Ron. Maybe he just needs to take a breath, reset. But in the meantime, Nick is going to start to hammer away with increasingly bigger visits here. So great visit from Nick just to push the ball forward. And if Ron can't find something soon here, he might start to feel the pressure and the smile. That's a nervous smile, nervy smile here from the Dreamboat. Nick starting to build this lead out, starting to smell blood in the water. Wants to keep these darts steady, able to do so with the big three. Not happy that he couldn't convert at least a ton, but bringing his score closer. Ron finds the big first dart. Two in there like laser beams. Not able to find the 140. Third dart. I don't believe you could fit anything else, not even an atom, in the space left over. And a unfortunate second dart there from Nick Soldo, finding 64, so he will bring his score down to a baby fish. But Ron, still no pressure unless he can find at least one. Well, a different triple than that. That's tough. Wants another triple. Able to find the 54 there with that third dart, so a little bit of a curious choice, but it does knock his score down quite considerably. And now a very gettable 130. I've seen him take it out before with my own eyes. That is a great marker. Able, double pull! Oh, that would have been a spectacular take from the sure shot, grazing the outer ring of that single bull as Ron lines up for 103. So 84 remaining now for the Dreamboat. Wants, well, triple 20, double 14. Sorry, triple 14. Finds it, so double 12. Not able to convert on it. My goodness, so close there. Nick Soldo, 25, just needs a correction. 9. Finds 12, so 13 remaining now. And that is I believe that's a bust. Yeah, he accepts his fate. That's unfortunate. So unlucky there for Nick. Not able to find the big numbers when he needed it most. And Ron, well, more chances here to find double 12. Well high, needs to find the correction. Really doesn't want to miss here. Pulls it inside, so now double 6 needed. This can get nervy and awkward real quick if Ron is not able to find it here and now. And he pulls it outside? Inside? It's outside, so only able to find 12. Nick, another chance at 25. Finds the 9, double 8. Needs to walk it in. And he's able to pick it up, so Nick Soldo is now playing for the set. Stunning Ron Sargent, who is not sure how he ended up here in this place, in this date, time, era. But now we know that Ron does not know where he is, but he is angry. And he wants to hit big numbers now. The 140 to lead off the line for the Dreamboat. It's starting, folks. Ron starting to get emotionally invested in this game. Does not want to drop a set to Nick. Does not want to give this man any sniff of the playoffs. Wants his season to be done here and now. And Nick only able to find 60. Amber in the chat saying, let's go, sure shot. Cheering Nick on. Ron Not able to follow up on the big visit, so maybe blinded by his rage, giving opportunities for the sure shot to try and find some big numbers of his own. That's a great second dart, and able to find at least another steady third, so 81 will drop his score down to 360. Ron slightly ahead, 322 with a beautiful first dart. Oh my goodness, 180 incoming. Not able to convert on it, only picking up 140. But still, Ron is sprinting towards the finish, and Nick cannot afford to hit anything other than a ton plus here to try and keep up. Only able to find 60 so. Ron Sargent looking to hold his throw with another big visit here to knock his score down into outshot range. Cannot afford to mess about here. Needs to keep him steady. And the caster's curse. I'm so sorry, Ron. You can blame that on me there. Sorry. But now, again, been rather weird set here as both guys have found themselves miles in front of each other and just finding some awkward visits, but Ron Sargent in range first. Nick, very tough, 27 locked in there. 117 remaining now for Ron. Going downstairs, it seems. Picks up 19, so 96 remaining, I believe. Not able to find any triples of value there. 59 punched in. And Nick Soldo, my caster math was wrong, so apologies, folks. Oh, man. Nick looking for at least a steady ton. Can't find it, even a triple 19. So as Ron looks to hunt down this 78, double trouble, he will look to keep that at bay. 54 found for 24 left. Well high, needs to bring it in with this third dart. Able to find it, so Ron tying it up. Nick, again, that wasn't his hold. It was Ron's hold of throw. So Nick has the hold of throw here for the set. If he can just keep it steady, just keep his darts in line here, even a 60 will do, and he's able to secure that, I believe. Yes, indeed, folks. So Ron under pressure now to at least, when you can do it in the first dart, why do you need 3? Second dart just above, not able to find 2 in there, only able to find a ton. So a good response here from Ron Sargent, keeping Nick, the sure shot, honest here as he looks to pick up more points with his second visit. Nick dropping those darts low, not able to find anything good, only picking up 41 points to drop his score down to an even 400. And Ron Sargent now, great guide if he can hold the line, does find the correction. And another ton, back-to-back tons here for the Dreamboat, starting to get his engines fired up, starting to set sail, getting some air in those, sails that he has on that beautiful boat of his. Nick looking to drop one in there for at least a ton, just goes a little low. So not over here, 340 to 301. Nick still chasing, in pursuit. But as I was saying in the game between Joe and Mike, Ron, 3 tons in a row. It can be rather disheartening if you have to be playing from behind every single visit. Ton 40, a ton will do Nick a lot of good here if he can find it. Another 41 will unfortunately poison the water, make it even more difficult as these gaps start to grow here. Ron looking to try and keep it steady. Going downstairs now. Not able to grab the trip 19, only finding 59. So tough visit there, but still pushing well in front. First start is just hanging above that triple bed. Needs another one in there. Going downstairs instead. Can't find it, so 99 locked in will leave him at steady 200. But Ron Sargent already looking at 142. Not able to find triple 18, so 107. Well, he does find 54. So that will bring his score down to 88. Nick, huge opportunity if he can find at least a ton. Oh, the second dart finding its way into that trip 1, shake of the head. That's all that Nick needs to communicate to everybody tuning in. Not happy with that. We'll leave him an out, but 157 is an outside chance 48 found for Ron, so 2 darts at double 20. Needs to find the correction again. Second dart burned. Third dart burned. So Nick Soldo for a stunning 157 take. It has to go. Can he find it? Lines up for the shot. Not able to find the first dart. Second dart well low as well. And really not able to make a dent in that 157. Ron, 3 darts at double 20. And the first set goes into the ledger books of the Dreamboat. Nick Soldo had two opportunities to lock that set down, but Ron firing up the engines, getting wind in those sails, getting his crew, who was on the verge of mutiny in those first couple of legs, back in line, back under his steady command here. And Ron, looking to have steady command of this second set, does not want to have it be as nervy or chaotic as that first set was. So he looks to, again, lead off the line here with another solid ton. So great darts from Ron, really finding some consistency after struggling early. Nick finding a beautiful first dart. Second dart again doing him a lot of harm. And only finding 62. So after finding that line right off the rip with that first dart, not able to keep it steady. And 2 in there for Ron Sargent, showing Nick how it's done. Not able to convert on the 180, but the ton 40 will do nicely. And scoreboard update for everybody. Joe Ricard is currently leading 1-0 on Mark Rudge. Nick finding the big ton himself, dropping his score down at 339. So great darts there from Nick, who has been struggling to find consistent darts here. Ron, another first dart in that bed. And not able to find a ton 40, but I believe that's another ton, and it'll drop his score down to 161, so already within range after 9 darts. Nick not able to find a big second, not able to find a big third, so the consistency is key here. The WPL, and the consistency or lack of it will kill you in the end. Ron not able to find, well, I'm not even sure where that dart was going, excuse me. It seems to be right in the middle of the trip 19 and the trip 17. So if that dart was going haywire, well, it went haywire by quite a wide margin. Ron not happy with that third dart either, so opportunities now for Nick with a big 180 to drop the score potentially within range. But the first dart will blow up that hope and dream. And he can't convert on the third dart either, so only finding 40. This is getting pretty tough now. Ron looking to try and knock down this 94 in 2. He grabs 12, so a little weird. Leaves himself 82, so trip 14 required. Still plenty of time. Can go double bull if he wants to feel frisky. Fortunately, won't go. So 14 will leave him 68 now. So a solid 20 will do nicely. Can only set himself up now. And tries to go for the 18. So not sure why he wanted the 18. I mean, you still have to burn a dart on the next visit regardless. But, I mean, 48's a good leave. So why not try it? Nick first dart into the 18s, I believe. Second dart into the trip 1. And third dart finding its way into the 1 again. So 4. So 22 found, I believe. And Ron, 67 now. Looking for trip 17. Has 50 left. So 18. Oh, and that is a bust, ladies and gentlemen. So Ron finding some rocks here in this, in these coastal waters. Not able to pull his boat ashore. Some rough turbulence, but Nick Soldo, another dart into that 1 segment. Finds a big second here, so 2 in there. Might be worthwhile. Only able to pick up 81. So, in range now. Ron cannot afford to keep missing as Nick is, well, he's far away from shore, but you can still see him. Now 1 dart at double 16. To avoid some awkward drama, and he can't get it done, so Ron potentially may not be coming back if Nick can put these darts into the correct combination. Not able to get it done with that first dart, so only looking to bring it down second dart into the trip 5 segment. And he is able to secure himself a big triple 20 with that third dart. 94 found here for the sure shot. 59 remains, but would rather have Ron 16. 3 darts at double 8. Inside again, so now going across to double 4. Outside, so correction needed. And outside again, Nick Soldo from about 30 miles out is now looking to come to the docks and tie his vessel in the spot of the dreamboat where Ron should be. And he's able to get it done. Look at the roar there from Nick Soldo. He knows that was an outside chance converted on Ron's mistakes, but he does not let Ron get away with another one. And sometimes that's all it comes down to. You just have to be able to tell your opponent, you better not miss, because I'm coming for you, buddy. And again, well, Nick not able to convert a good momentum leg previous into a good start. Only able to pick up 9, and Ron looking to certainly punish that with an 81 of his own doing. So now Nick looking to focus up here. Wants to try and get his mind back in order. Focus on the task at hand. Can't keep relying on Ron to, struggle to tie his boat to the docks. And looks like he's not able to grab. Looks like he is able to grab a triple 20 there. That third dart squeaking its way in. Great third. Ron looks like that second dart has been pushed out into the single 5. Able to pick up that triple 20. So 85 found. I'm going to end the poll right here now because we are at a dead 50-50. So we'll see who's right. Again, Ron has been playing. Well, he's shown some excellent stuff tonight, and he has shown excellent darts all season. So what an upset it would be if Nick was able to find a game in the last week against the Dreamboat. Anything can happen here at the Worcester Premier League. And Ron, well, looking to keep things more the same. The boring route, would you will, but Ron wants those points. He wants as many points as he can get. I think with the first round win, I think he's secured himself first place overall. But it doesn't matter. He wants everything he can get, and I can't blame him for it. Nick not able to grab a triple 20, only able to grab 60. So now dead heat, 310. Why start at 501? Well, we can start on the same number halfway through halfway through 501, just about. And only able to pick up 60. So now this game is starting to get weird, folks. It's starting to really have this weird feeling where both guys, they've shown some greatness, but it's nervy. It's just awkward. And Nick looking to try and convert with that second dart, not able to grab a third one. But great visit nonetheless. 96 leaping in front of the Dreamboat. 250 now here for Ron. Wants some big numbers here. Another 60 might leave him extremely frustrated, but is able to find the ton. So Ron first to a finish, 150. But Nick, if he can find a big ton of his own, will leave himself a very favorable finish, staying on those 19s. Looks like he's staying on it, not able to pick up a triple. Trying to split those first 2 darts, but not able to get it done. And Ron now will not be finding 150. Can only look to set up, doing some quick mental math. And that is a awkward second dart there. Really, really unlucky. And Ron taking a big step back to do some math here. He has 119 remaining, I believe. So going downstairs to the 19s, maybe staying up. Tried to find the bull for his own sake, but I believe he leaves himself 110. Caster math could be wrong here. Does find 30, so 120, excuse me. Wait, I don't think that's right. Nope, he does leave himself 110, so hey, we're getting it. We're figuring it out, folks. Congratulations, me, for doing good math. And Nick able to find the first part of the combo. Second part found for 157. No, he knew it. He almost had it. Oh, my God, Nick, that would have been crazy if he was able to find that. And now Ron looking to try and convert. 90 left. Can't find it, so Nick will be coming back with more opportunities. Oh my goodness, you could tell by the reaction from Nick, the 157, how badly he wanted it. Going up for 3 darts at double 20. Needs to walk it down. And able to do so with the second dart here. Nick is now playing for the set. Jeff from the UK says good stuff, tuning in from the UK. It's good to always hear from our neighbors across the pond. Great quality of stream and excellent commentary. Thank you, sir. We're so happy that you're tuning in, getting some enjoyment here from our lovely little stream. We have some great guys, great players. And again, thank you for being here, Jeff. Ron leading off with a big 140. Nick now looking to try and follow up with a big visit of his own, but he's hunting for triples now. Can't get it done. Another poor visit right at the start of the leg here for Nick. I believe he's done that about 4 or 5 times now, which is just not good. Not good for the mental confidence, not good for the mental game, and Ron able to pick up another ton 40. So back-to-back ton 40 visits, roaring ahead. Nick, well, the first dart does look great. Second dart, I'm not sure exactly where that went. Block it by the flights, but spray and pray here seems to be the strategy of the sure shot. He can be sure that he can hit the board if he, just keeps chucking them. But again, we're looking for precision here, and we certainly know that Nick is able to of producing precision. Try saying that 5 times fast. My goodness, tripping all over myself here with my words. So, Nick Soldo, 4:10 remaining. Ron Sargent all the way down at 166. And Nick, not a happy camper here with that visit. Just hasn't been a good leg. And sometimes that happens, You can try extremely hard, try and find something worthwhile, and the darts just don't want to cooperate. Seems to always happen when I go and throw my darts. They just never seem to go where I want them to. But, we always come back for more, and Nick coming back with 389 now. More or less trying to find the corrections that he needs to straighten out his arm for the next leg, as Ron sitting all the way down the line at 106. Heavily favored to take this leg. 86 remains now for the Dreamboat. Not able to find that big trip 18, but he will stay there just to leave himself an even 50. No pressure coming from Nick Soldo, so he can get away with that for now. And again, Nick's already thinking about the next leg, I can already tell. And I don't know if those darts are the same darts that Nick has thrown in previous weeks, actually. The way that they're bobbling, I am convinced that they are soft hit points, as Ron looks for double 16 now. Needs to pull it inside. Can't get it done, so more double trouble for the Dreamboat. They're not soft tip points, as I make a correction here. I believe they are converted soft tip darts, and he has, I think they're called 180 reflex points on them, which causes them to bobble a little bit when they hit the board. They are extremely thin points. I mean, they are just about syringe thin. And they can really group well, and Nick has unfortunately been struggling to group his darts all night. Ron looking for the double 8, going again across the double 4, so really struggling on the left-hand side of the board. Ron Sargent able to pick up the double 4 right in the corner over there. My goodness, that was even close as well. So not a confident double here for the Dreamboat. Nick giving him a little bit of respect with the fist bump. So one opportunity gone for Nick to convert into a set win. But that was a hold-of throw for Ron, so it was expected for Ron to win that one. Nick getting off the line here in a reasonable manner. And now Ron cannot afford to not find a triple, and he only finds 45. So opportunity for Nick to really put on the pain. If he can find another triple, that might be a good dart to just try and guide the third one in there. Can't do it. 41's not a good follow. And a scoreboard update here, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Rudge finding a set against Joe Ricard, so that game is tied 1-1. More to come. We'll see who takes that one in just a few minutes' time here. Come back to this game, Ron Sargent finding 60, but not the darts that he wants, that we've seen from him in previous legs here. And Nick able to pick up a big ton, able to find that big third dart. So a confidence booster for sure for the sure shot. And now Ron looking to try and bust down that confidence a peg or two. If he can find another one in there, may have squeaked it in, might be 95. It's a 140. So huge darts to get himself back in the lead and force Nick to keep on finding the red bit. First dart's in there. Second dart's a little high, but going downstairs, staying up, finds the big 140. Solid answer for Nick. And that is a call and an answer. And if there was going to be a doubt for Nick that Ron was, if there's going to be a doubt from Nick Soldo that he was going to fall behind that leg, that's a solid statement visit and looking to keep this going. I believe that's 12-5 maybe? Not sure. I'm going to assume it's a 12. So I do believe that's 51 scored based on Nick going downstairs, and that's correct. So 84 left. Ron, 196. Big opportunity if you can find a good visit. Leave himself something handy, and that second dart you could immediately tell after Ron released it that he was not happy with it. So huge opportunity now. 84 for Nick Soldo as he looks to try and take this out in 2 darts, double 12. Across to double 6. And he pulls it inside. So double 3 remaining now for Nick Soldo. A very awkward double 3. And Ron Sargent, the 156 will not go, so he can only set up 60 hit, 96 remaining. Ron eyeballing triple 20. I believe he's done the math in his head. So 76 remains now for Ron. Nick, does he go for the double 3 first? Does he go for 2? You feel like he has to go for 2 now, but he might be going straight at it. He does find it! Nick Soldo! Double 3! Wow! Oh my goodness, how many guys would go for the 2 first out, but they are not him. They're not Nick Soldo. Going straight at it and picking up a set against the Dreamboat. Wow! So now we get underway in our final deciding set here. Nick not able to get away with anything good, only finding 41. Ron looking to try and find that one lower, does find the ton. I don't think that Ron even understands how this game has gotten out of hand so quickly. I mean, the first set was pretty nervy. Nick doing very well to have a statement set in the previous one. And now he's starting to fire away. 81 picked up here from Nick Soldo. Ron is accustomed to having to battle, but I don't think he's accustomed to having to battle, well, Nick. Able to find a big ton there, my goodness. So, Ron, sorry guys, I'm a little flustered. I didn't think he was going to go for that double 3, but man, he just made it look good. So Nick looking to try and keep this going. Third dart, not great there, only picking up 41. So as this starts to develop, Ron Sargent, if he can find even a single triple, the hurt will start to pile on. Nick can't find triples of his own. Solid ton found there. Nick Soldo 3-3-8. Desperation darts now. Really needs them. And that's the wrong triple. Needs to move those slightly to the left, slightly down now. Can't grab it, only finding 28. Roll the head. Eyes to the sky. He knows it's no bueno. And now Ron looking to continue on running. He's the running man, as well as the Dreamboat. As he looks to drop down his score, can't pick up anything good. I believe that's 42 pounds, so ugly visit. Marooned on 159 Island, so very bad from the Dreamboat. It's an island full of cannibals, an island full of, man-eating crabs, bears, anything nasty, really. Ron trying to get away from this island as fast as he can, and he's able to do so. So 140 left now. Wants to find at least one triple 20 if he can. Not able to get it done, so will leave himself an even ton. But now Nick Soldo, again, if he can find even 100 points, 132, it's pressure. And that's a great first start One more would be nice. Not able to find two in the trip 19 bed, but 95 knocks down the score within range. So, Ron under pressure again. Nick doing very well to keep Ron honest in the back half of these legs. Not able to convert on double-doubles, so able to pick up the solid 60. Nick, huge opportunity here for 137 to steal this leg. Can he get it done? Breathtaking. Sighting his target, and that first dart is a killer of hope. And it looks like he was able to find the correction on that third dart, but 47, leaving himself 90, having to rely on mistakes here of the Dreamboat. And I don't believe Ron's going to miss with the way that this game has gone. But down to double 10. And he's able to pick it up with that second dart. So Ron not messing about, finding the break here. And will now be looking to hold his throw. And more importantly, be looking to find two legs on the spin. If he has anything to say about it. With that, folks, I have a scoreboard update. Joe Ricard has held firm in the third set and taken out Mark Rudge 2-1. So Joe is in the finals, and with that, he has moved into second place here in the standings. So it'll be Ron and Joe first and second, securing first round buys in the WPL Season 3 playoffs. Congratulations, Joe. More to come. He will be facing the winner of this game. And Nick able to pick up a solid ton off the line. Ron off to a little bit of a slower start. Not able to find the big darts. My goodness, it's right on the edge. And only picking up 55. Wow. So as the game has gone on, we've seen some wild swings in average. And things are starting to come closer together here. Nick looking for the 180. Does find the big 180. Look at the raw on display from Nick Soldo. The sure shot showing up. And showing Ron that he means business unless Ron can find an answer of his own. Can't get it done. Able to pick up the big 1-2-3 call and answer. But Nick Soldo looking to keep this going now. First start into that one segment. Wants to move across. Finds the big trip 20. And able to pick up 81 down to outshot territory. Leaving himself 140. Ron Sargent, 287, needs to knock his score down by bigger chunks. Even a ton won't do. Can't get it done. So 227 remaining now to Nick's 140. Nick in a golden zone here. Ron will not be coming back next visit with darts at an out. 60 found. Will drop his score down to 80. So certainly manageable here for the sure shot, but doesn't want to wait around. As Ron, I believe, will get this knocked down by a considerable margin. Able to pick up 95, which I believe leaves him 132 to Nick's 80. So double-double, I know he's going to go for it. I knew he was going to go for it. And he gets punished for his hubris, but he will leave himself double 20 if Ron is not able to pick up 132. This is a tricky out. Bullseye first, not able to find it. So 113 remaining now. Unfortunately for Ron, no two-dart combination available to him with 113. So, can tell the frustration starting to build up here in the Dreamboat. Shake of the head, he knows it wasn't good. And Nick Soldo will be coming back here with darts to tie up this set at one leg apiece. Can he get it done? He just needs one in there. Going down to double 10. Needs to find the correction. And it's just inside. I can't believe that missed, but those points are razor thin. And the margin for error is even smaller. So now Ron, 84, able to find the critical first dart. Double 12 now. Can't afford to miss. And it's well wide, the second one. And he brings it in the perfect amount. Little nod of the head there from Ron Sargent. He's able to lock that down. So a break and a hold for the Dreamboat. Nick has been playing some stellar stuff. But now Ron starting to pull ahead. going to make Nick work exceptionally hard to reel him back in. He's not able to lead off here with a ton plus, only able to find 60. Ron Sargent sighting his target, wants to find a big visit to lead off with some gusto. And not able to do it, so both guys leading off with a 60. Nervy darts, Ron was all over it. Nick had to do some, more searching for the proper line. First dart is right there here. Second dart might be even closer than that, and the third dart goes high, so back-to-back 60s on a score. I know a lot of people that if they could just hit 60 every single time, they would be a very happy camper. For these guys, it just won't do. And Ron is able to pick up a big ton here to push the ball just that bit much further. And here comes Nick finding the immediate response with Love a Ton 40. Able to keep him straight and able to find the ton 40. So Ron finding the ton, Nick finding the ton 40. Ron has to find the answer if he wants to keep pace. Able to find a big triple there. And just grazing that trip 18 segment. My goodness, that was close. So both guys neck and neck down the line. Nick finding a huge first dart. Second dart might be a bit of a blocker. And just missing out on that third one. So Nick all the way down to an out first, 141. Ron needs to find at least one triple to try and keep pace. Critical triple now. He's not able to get it done. So Nick Soldo, 141. He's been in this position before this game where he's been ahead. But he wasn't able to get across the line first, 81 remaining now. Not able to find that critical second. 79 scored. Looks like he's able to find, 100? The weird way? 19? Trip 7? So a solid ton, but the weirdest way imaginable for Nick Soldo. He'll look to leave 32. Unless he wants to go for the correction on that one. Ron only able to find ton, so 84 left for the dreamboat. Nick Soldo, 41. Which way is he going to correct? Double 20 needed. And a solid hold of throw there. Great 17 darter there from Nick Soldo to keep Ron at bay. But now he needs to find the break. He was able to find the hold to try and get this game back on throw. And I don't think Ron Sargent is going to let it be that easy. If he can sneak it into a ton, can't do it. Nick, if he can pick up a leg here and force it to go all the way, I genuinely don't know who's going to win. Nick Soldo looking to make the correction. That's a great guide if he can hold the line. Not able to get it done. Unlucky there from the sure shot. And now Ron Sargent, more opportunities to find the triple 20. He's been so reliable at finding it this season. He's able to pick up two huge darts there. 140. Will really put the pressure on Nick, who needs to drop these darts in at least a ton. And he cannot get it done. He hooks it wide into the one segment, so disaster already as he falls about 100 points behind after 2 visits to the board. And now the onus is on Ron to just keep pace, just keep it steady. Even a 60 will do in this case, folks. As long as he can keep Nick at a distance, Nick needs to find these triples, can't afford to be all over it, and that's a great ton to build back some of the gap, but Ron still 60 points in front. Can't afford more darts like that, needs to correct in quickly. And all of a sudden, Ron's starting to slow down. A big visit here from Nick and put him back in front. So on very rare occasions, we've seen this from Ron where under about 250, he has these weird hiccups. Not able to get down to an out quick enough. It's been him in games against Joe. It's been him in games against Tom. And he certainly doesn't want to have this happen here and now. Only able to find 60, but that's enough. Dropping his score down to 136. Nick Soldo down to 255, but needs a significant visit here. Looking for at least 95 minimum. Not able to grab it. Not satisfied with that third dart in the slightest. As it didn't even fall into the 19 segment. Ron 1:16 remaining. It won't go, so he can only set up now with Love and even ton to leave himself double 18, but he will need more darts. So now, 76 remains for Ron. Nick has to put the pressure on here and now, and he knows it. And unfortunately, that second dart is just going to be again, I apologize to all the folks at home that can read lips. That was not family friendly, but unfortunately for Nick Soldo, didn't go the way he wanted. Ron only able to find 15, I believe. So 61 remaining, 25. Lining his target, not able to find 36. Oh my goodness, I can't believe he missed it. Wow. I don't even think there's a millimeter between the point and the wire. It was that close. And unfortunately for Nick, it looks like after a valiant effort and a valiant display of his darting abilities, Ron Sargent going to take a deep breath. He's going to sight his target, and he's going to have another trip to the finals. And he does find it with that first dart. So Nick, unfortunately, only able to pick up 2 points from the bye, but it is not enough to cross the line into the playoffs. He will fall into the relegation zone for WPL Season 3 and not participate in the playoffs. So, ladies and gentlemen, what a fantastic game that was. My voice was going crazy. Nick was finding some spectacular shots, some spectacular scoring, and he was really putting quite a lot of pressure on Ron. The Dreamboat did not have stable, steady waters for the longest time in that match, and even in that final leg, it still could have gone either way if Nick was able to pick up some bigger scoring there in the back half of that final leg. But that's the way she goes. We're getting ready for our finals now between Ron, the Dreamboat Sargent, and Joe Ricard, a battle that we've seen before many times in WPL season history, Season 3 history, and even Season 2. But this is the final chance for this. I can't even speak, guys. I'm just gassed at the last game. This is the final chance in Season 3 for Joe and for Ron to have a chance to one-up each other. Both guys sit at 2 night wins this season. So whoever wins this game will be able to dangle that in front of the other, at least until next week when the playoffs happen. Don't go anywhere. We have our finals match ahead of us. Before I cut to commercial break, guys, if you are in the Worcester area, you are looking to do some, good this holiday season, if you have some extra non-perishable food or you're looking to do some shopping for some others in desperate need of some food this winter season, head on down to Tee Up Tap Room, 70 James Street in Worcester. Donate some non-perishable food. They will give you a $2 mixed drink of your choosing for your troubles, and everything goes towards filling Bucky's food pantry. So again, if you're looking to do some holiday good for those who desperately need it this holiday season, go ahead and drop off some non-perishable food to Tee Up Tap Room, 70 James Street, Worcester. And we will see you guys after these short messages. Don't go anywhere. Finals are coming up. See you guys soon.
Balboni Darts is the name in darts for Central Massachusetts and beyond. From dart sets and boards to accessories and apparel, they're the one-stop shop for any player looking to stock up or upgrade. Whether you're stepping up to the line for the first time or competing for trophies and checks, Balboni Darts is the store that the champion selects. Since 2014, U.S. Sports and Apparel has been helping teams, companies, and organizations look their best. From embroidered polos to customized uniforms and fan gear, they have the expertise and the people to do it all. Their catalog includes spiritwear, athletic equipment, and promotional items. From mugs and golf balls to jackets and hoodies, everything is branded to your specifications. For gear that works as hard as you do, trust in U.S. Sports and Apparel to get the job done right. Looking for your next night out in Worcester? Tee Up Tap Room is the place to be. With 5 golf simulator bays, more than 20 dartboards, a full bar and kitchen, and leagues for both golf and darts running year-round, Tee Up is the go-to spot for competition and community. Swing by Tee Up Tap Room at 70 James Street in Worcester and see why it's the city's home for golf, darts, and good times. Looking for a way to support the Worcester Premier League directly? Check out our coffee page. Every dollar donated goes right back into the league, helping us cover operations and build a bigger prize pool for the players. Your support makes it possible for us to keep the WPL growing season after season. Once again, your donation helps us keep the competition thriving and the darts flying. Visit our page at coffee.com/WPLdarts to make a contribution today. Since 2014,
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and after 7 weeks of play, it all comes down to this final game to determine the final standings for the regular season of WPL Season 3. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us, not only tonight, but for every single week that we've had this season. Your participation, your viewership, you guys just hanging out in the chat, just having a good time. It certainly means the world to all of us. We're so happy that you guys are here. We absolutely love this incredibly frustrating game of darts. And we are so happy that we are building something pretty cool here in Central Mass in the Worcester area. And, we can't wait for playoffs. But we have one more game remaining between the usual suspects, Joe Ricard and the Dreamboat, Ron Sargent. These guys are getting warmed up. As we take a quick sneak peek over in the room, look at those handsome gentlemen getting underway. And I can tell you with the utmost certainty that these guys, even though they're best of friends, best of pals, and that you're probably going to have to face off against both of them if you play in men's doubles anywhere here in Central Mass, they want to have the one-up on each other. Now, it's a given. With the way that the regular season has broken down so far here in Season 3, Ron has secured himself first place overall. Congratulations, Ron. You've done it. What an amazing season you've had. And with the victories that Joe Ricard has secured tonight, he has locked in second place. So, our first and second round players will get a bye in the WPL playoffs this season. They will automatically make the top 4 for having a spectacular regular season. But it doesn't matter. Who cares? These guys don't care because all they see is that they both have 2 nightly wins, and whoever takes this third nightly win is going to reign supreme. And what absolute cinema do we have waiting for everybody in just a few moments' time. But before we get to that, guys, it's starting to get, guys and gals, guys and gals, ladies and gentlemen, folks, it's starting to get chilly here in Central Mass. And even if you're not here in New England, even if you're all over the country, we can get our merchandise to you. Don't worry. If you guys scan that QR code, our partner, U.S. Sports and Apparel, has a wide selection of hats, T-shirts, hoodies, available in all sorts of colors, sizes. Not only can you guys support the Worcester Premier League, you guys can look pretty damn good as well this winter. Go ahead and scan that QR code. It takes you right to our store. Once again, thank you, U.S. Sports and Apparel, for setting us up with an amazing store, amazing apparel. Be sure to check them out if you are looking for team gear, corporate wear, or anything in between. They can get it done. So, going to the bracket, how we got here tonight. Ron Sargent took out Berto Santos in the opening round and kept Berto in 8th place. So Berto is at risk of relegation. He will be playing in the relegation tournament event during the mid-season cycle here at WPL. Nick Soldo was able to, he moved on to the second round because Tom Curtin was participating in international competition, so Tom unfortunately not here. Nick was able to pick up 2 points, but he did barely lose out to Ron Sargent in that second round game. My goodness, what a crazy game that was, Nick. A lot of opportunities to take more legs, potentially even take a game off of Ron Sargent, but the way that the cookie crumbled, it did not crumble in the favor of the sure shot. So Nick will be in 7th place, not getting enough points to pass, I believe, the 6 points of Justin Burke, depending on how the standings shake out. Go to the left side of the bracket. Joe Ricard was able to take out Mike Carignan in the opening round. Mark Rudge was able to take out Justin Burke in a very close 2-1 game. Joe taking out Mark Rudge in the second round to face off against the Dreamboat. Who else in our Week 7 final? So, going to the board view here. Let me give the guys the go-ahead. And with that, these will be the last few warm-ups that these guys throw before our players are set. And so, if you guys are hanging out with us here, let us know who you guys think is going to win. Joe Ricard, Ron Sargent, right now it's 50-50, and I can't say I blame anybody for being undecided on that. I mean, both guys have been heavy hitters all season long. I would say if I had to pick a favorite, and I don't know if I can even do this, if I had to pick a favorite, Ron Sargent has been the more consistent player over the past couple of weeks. Joe Ricard has been more or less trying to keep pace, trying to keep up the chase as these weeks have gone on, and Ron will be holding his throw here in the opening set and leading off. Rather stylish manner. My goodness, that jersey's looking very nice. I believe it says Dreamboat on the back. What a lovely, lovely nickname. And Ron, we've seen so far tonight, he has been struggling to get off the line with some good visits, able to really pick up the scoring pace after a couple of visits to the board. But Joe, landing that first dart ever so beautifully in there, looking to try and follow up. Might have been wise to go to a different segment of the board, trip 19, trip 18, wide open. But Joe, he's stubborn. He wants to try and force as many darts in that trip 20 segment that he can. And Ron looking like he's just looking for one, if he can even try and find it. Can't get it done. For everybody who is not privy to the inner workings of the WPL, Nick Soldo is right directly to the left of me. We are going to be looking at, hopefully, well, maybe another person here on the casting desk in the coming seasons. Of course, we'll have to figure out how to get that done here in the WPL studio. Our studio is vast. It's cavernous. There are many, many pathways that we're not sure where they go, so we have some exploring to do, have some wires to run, but we'll try and look to get that done. Coming back to the game here. Again, Joe Ricard finding some very consistent darts here. He's had his struggles this season. Certainly had some struggles just keeping his darts in line, but when I have to think of some of the more consistent players this season, his throw is so unique too, because he does have this bobble where if you can just see how that little bounce there, and are we going to see the big 180 here from Joe Ricard? No, only finding the 140. But unlike a lot of players who keep their arms steady, stable, not moving, trying to put the dart in the same place every single time they actually go to draw, Joe pulls up to his face and bobbles the dart a little bit just to kind of keep the momentum, the rhythm going. A lot of players do throw like that, and a lot of players don't. Just goes to show the uniqueness of this game. The first dart's in. 2 darts, big 160 potentially. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, my goodness, that would have been a fantastic opening leg take from Joe Ricard if he was able to find that third dart. Ron Sargent under immediate pressure. Rudge in the chat saying almost like a double clutch. You know, yeah, a little bit of a double clutch action there going on from Joe Ricard. Is he able to find it? Going down to double 10 now. Doesn't want to mess about here. Doesn't want to have this go up to double 5. Not able to pull those darts in, but still not under any pressure. And I've just been informed by our WPL interns running me a note from across our cavernous studio space that indeed, and I guess you guys can hear it here first, Nick Soldo will be joining myself on the casting desk for WPL Season 4. So I guess 2 announcements in one. We'll be coming back for Season 4. More details to come. And we'll have a full commentary crew with both Nick and myself. So can't wait. I'm really looking forward to that. And what was looking to be a beautiful leg here from Joe Ricard, almost finding a 160. Now starting to get a little awkward. Raw an opportunity now to steal this leg with a 140. If he can find the first dart, and I believe that first dart's into the single 5 segment. So unlucky, able to find the double. Ron, what is this guy doing, man? He's just double bull found, 55 locked in so far. We've seen so many times this season where that's a great third dart, but so many times this season that he's just not able, he can't hit the single bull. He only finds the double bull every single time. Able to find 120 there. Brings the score down to 20, double 10 remaining. And Joe, I don't think that's the right math. Not sure what's going on here. They seem to be debating the score on the tablet. 50, 45, so 95 plus 5. I believe that's a ton. So able to find the right numbers there. And Joe Ricard looking to correct this 5. So finds the single one down to double 2. And he's going up to the madhouse, folks. Does he stick around? No, he does not. So Joe just wanted Ron to have a whiff of victory before slamming the door in this poor guy's face. Can't say I blame him, but Joe certainly does not want to have it be that close for the rest of the game. My goodness. And it seems here Joe Ricard, again, with the consistent, steady grouping, it just looks so good. Ron, more of like a laser beam type throw. He aims, points, and then just accelerates the dart towards the board, almost like a rail gun or he's just shooting like a pistol or something, but those darts travel at such velocity, such speed, where Joe has a little bit more of an arc to his darts. Many styles on display here at the Worcester Premier League and even just in Central Mass. 60 fired in here from Joe Ricard. And I will be ending the poll a little early so nobody can change their votes as this game goes along. 75% for Joe Ricard, 25% for Ron Sargent. So a lot of Joe Ricard believers after that first leg. Joe able to find that big trip 19, not able to find a pair, but able to find 80. Will push his score down even further. And after that first leg, well, both of these guys' averages have been shot up a little bit, not as high as they would like, but that's what double trouble will do. If you don't want to recommend, if you don't want to have any trouble in darts, just hit your double first time. It's not that hard to do. Just find the segment. Of course, that's the name of the game. This outer ring is so tough to hit sometimes. You can have fantastic scoring rounds just blown up by not being able to find that outer ring. And Ron having no trouble finding the inner ring. 180 potentially no, only able to find the 140. We've seen that many times tonight where he's found a beautiful opening too, but not able to find that third. I actually don't think that we've seen any 180s from Ron tonight, though my memory may not serve me well. Joe not able to pick up anything worthwhile, only 60. Bringing his score down to 196. Ron sitting just behind at 200, but here's another perfect first. 2 in there, 180 to leave double 10. Doesn't do it again. Back-to-back 140s. So Ron incapable of filling the bet, it seems, but 60 might be a more beneficial leave than double 10. And Joe, if he finds a 180 here, well, won't get it done. Not only would have been salt in the wound, but would have left him 16. The 140 will leave him 56. So both guys having to burn a dart now to get down to a double. Ron finds the first one. 2 darts at double 20, going down to double 10 now. Not able to find it. Pulls it in by a hair. So Joe Ricard, 16 or 20. My guess is he goes down to the 16 for 2 darts at his favored double 20, down to double 10. Joe has been struggling on double 20 all night tonight, and he's not able to pick up double 10 either, so Ron's coming back for another look. Double 5 needed here for the Dreamboat to tie up this set, and first dart, lucky he's able to get it done. So these guys, we've seen so many times this season, have been neck and neck through their games, and I don't think that this game is going to be any different, folks. These guys, again, they're so used to each other's play style. They're so used to each other's pace. They're so used to each other's mannerisms. Well, there's just a lot that they know about each other. And a solid 140 here from Ron Sargent, leading off the leg in quite a nice manner here. Joe Ricard looking to try and make a correction over to the middle of that 20 segment. Can't get it done. Can only pick up 55. But that's one of the difficult things about knowing how somebody plays is, well, you know what to expect. So when they start hitting better numbers than what you're used to expecting, it can be rather frightening rather quickly. And Ron following up that ton 40 with a solid ton. So after 2 visits, 261 left for the Dreamboat. Joe looking to get out of the 400 still. Critical third dart, and that goes wide into the 1 segment. So 41 found here for Joe, still stuck in the 400s. And Ron starting to really rocket ahead here. 2:01 remaining. Under 200. Not able to find another triple, but 161. He's done this before tonight. We're after 3 visits, leaving himself an out. Great darts there from the Dreamboat. Joe Ricard looking for that crucial pair in there, but can't do it. Only able to find a ton. So Ron, under no pressure right now, wants to just bring the score down. Didn't have to force the 161, but we've seen this again tonight where under about 200 points, Ron Sargent starts to get a little nervy on bringing his score down to a comfortable out. 118 is still a lot of work here. With a big 180, Joe Ricard can put on a lot of pressure real quick. Not sure what that second dart was trying to do. Looks like he was trying to follow up with another dart in the trip 18 segment, but even that first dart was just high, so still no pressure on Ron, who finds the big first dart. 18 now for double 20 for a big 118, and he misses it again. Wow, so close. The reaction from Ron Sargent tells everything that we need to know. You thought that dart was in. And now Joe Ricard looking to just try and keep steady, not be bothered by that close call, but he's not able to pick up serious points here to really put Ron under threat. 164, long shot opportunity. And Ron going down to double 10. Both guys struggling with double 20 tonight. Up to double 5, so awkward now, looking to get it done. And he's closer to hitting the 5 on the number ring than the actual double itself, so Joe Ricard for a steal of a leg. 164, can he get it done? First dart's high, so can only leave himself a leave now. One more in there, can't get it done, pushes it out, and Joe, who is known to stay on that triple 20, runs the risk of having those darts deflect out. Ron does not want to be waiting around here. Hits the big single 5 for 5 left, 3 or 1. Finds 3 to leave the madhouse. And more opportunities coming the way of Joe Ricard. Ron graciously giving out chances, giving Joe more than 9 lives now. Can he find the 83? Eyeballing his target, looking downstairs. Yeah, well, it's not over yet. The 3 will leave 80, so double, mate. Oh, he went for it, and he gets punished. Finds the big third dart in there, but now passes the ball back to Ron Sargent. Double 1. Doesn't want to be going cuckoo in the madhouse. Wants to get out in a hurry if he can. First dart's high, needs to bring it down, but doesn't want to bring it down too low, and the second dart finds its way in there. Ron Sargent able to put 2 legs on this set so far, is now playing for the set, but Joe will have the hold of throw here. Ron, this set is on his throw if he's not able to find the break here. So Joe only able to lead off with a 60. Ron, who has been leading off with fantastic scores all night, look to lead off with another one. First dart's a little wild. Second dart's in there. And the third dart just goes high, slightly elevated. 85 found, but that's enough. And Ron, even though he won't be satisfied with it, he at least knows he's out in front early. In a potential break scenario, Joe going downstairs can't grab the switch. Shake of the head there from Joe. He knows that these opportunities might be running out soon in this set if Ron can continue to hammer the triple 20. Needs to find the correction, eyeballing it. Can't find it, elevates it too much, so 60 found here. Joe Ricard 382, so still within range, trying to catch back up, but that might be a tough block. He will stay there, but those flights make it so confusing, so difficult to get around. Sometimes it's just the visual element of having stuff in the way makes it tough to find that dart in there, and Ron having no trouble so far. Second one way elevated. Third dart just missing by a millimeter. So close. So Joe Ricard, 322 remaining. Can't afford to keep missing by finite margins now. Needs to find one right in the middle. Gets it done. So a great correction, great third dart there from Joe. And now Ron under pressure, 2-5-6, can drop himself down to an out if he can continue to find more of those types of darts. Second dart just high. Might be plenty of space, though. Can't get it done, so 1-5-6 now. And now Joe Ricard, 2-2-2 remaining. Single trip, well, needs the ton now to leave a rather awkward 1-2-2. Maybe going to a different number. Can't grab the trip 19, so 59 found. Ron with the much preferable 1-5-6. Joe marooned on 1-6-3, so not sure what he was going for with that switch. Ron, if he can find another one, can't get it done to leave 16, but the ton will leave 56, so still great darts from Ron. Leave himself 56 after 5 visits to the board. Joe will unfortunately be relying on mistakes from Ron here. Third dart thrown in frustration. You can tell just left his hand a little too early, pushing it towards the board, and Ron finding the big 16 now for 2 darts, a double 20. Breathtaking, sighting it, and needs to find just a little bit lower. Can't make it. Oh my goodness. How many times have we seen that tonight where the correction is just a little too overcooked? And Joe Ricard now 119, finds 57. And he absolutely butchers the opportunity with that second dart. 63 scored. Doing some mental math now. So both guys discussing, I believe Ron actually jumping into the action here. 56 remaining. Finds the big 16. And now Ron Sargent, more opportunities at double 10. Can't afford to miss with Joe waiting in the wings. Going back up to double 5. So double 20, double 10 been so awkward, and double 5 comes to save the day. So Ron Sargent, the man in charge of WPL Season 3, taking the opening set, 3 legs to 1. Not looking to give his good buddy Joe anything for free, telling him, listen, if you want this game, you've got to earn it. And Joe, unfortunately, not able to find the big triples off the rip. Ron looking to put more of this heat on. 3 more legs. Wins Week 7, 85 in response to Joe's 60. So we saw that previously. It's enough. Ron will not be happy with it, but it is enough for him right now. Joe Ricard finds that big second dart. Not able to follow it. The third dart pushing off into the trip 1 segment, but still doing well to keep pace. Ron Sargent, beautiful first dart. Second dart just low, just dipping ever so slightly. Might have glanced off the flight, but the big 1-3-4 from Ron Sargent. Electing to not stay in the neighborhood. I'm going to go to a different town, a different city, and I am going to make a name for myself. And the 1-3-4 is locked in. 80 found here for Joe, and follows up with a big 140 of his own. So call and answer. And now pressure back on Ron, who immediately fires back with a triple 20. Might go, might stay. Elects to stay, finds the big ton. So 182 remaining now for Ron Sargent. That might not have been the smartest choice. Going to the trip 18 might have been a wiser decision, but everything is wiser with hindsight and consideration. And Joe Ricard, back-to-back 140s. Solid darts there, 78 remaining. Ron under a lot of pressure now. Can't afford more darts like that. Wow, 2 in there right on the edge. Needs to try and just knock it off. You feel that with those 2 darts making a wall that he could just bounce it off of them, but unfortunately the deflection goes the wrong way. Leaves himself 147. Joe working with 78. 18 first. Finds 12. So 74? No, 64 left? 66 left, excuse me. And it looks like that is a solid take there, I believe. 12. Let me do some math here. I'm not sure if that math is correct. So I don't know if that math was correct, folks. 66. Yeah, that math is not correct, actually. So we are actually going to have to take a pause on that, have the referee come in, because that was not correct. Joe left himself 2. So, ladies and gentlemen, in a moment of mathematical confusion, Joe leaving himself 2. He found the double bull. You have to give him credit. The referee's coming in. So, going to have to take a moment to fix the tablet here, get the game back in order. But that should be 2 left here. And indeed, the correction has been made. So, you have to give Joe Ricard a lot of props for finding that double bull. But that math, the importance of being able to do math correctly, leaving himself double 1. So, again, big props to Nick Soldo, who's acting as an impromptu referee this match. You guys can't hear what the guys were talking about over there, but Joe acknowledging his mistake, saying, hey, Ron, you know what? I'm going to hit it next visit anyway. I just wanted to style a little bit. Of course, he didn't say that. Joe's not like that at all. I'm just making that stuff up. But if he does find it with the first dart here, he has the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever. And that is indeed the funniest thing I've seen in quite a long time, where he leaves himself 2 on purpose, and then he just takes it out in the first dart. And these guys are laughing about it here in the background. You guys can't see it, but wow. Okay, and what could have been the weirdest way to go about that? Joe Ricard eventually finds his way home and takes out double 1 after leaving himself double 1 with a double bull. Oh, my goodness. Wow. What he believed to be a double bull finish. So what was once heartbreak now turns to jubilation here for Joe Ricard. So we get back underway here. Joe looking to try and get back in focus here. Great second dart. Third dart is money as well. So leading off with a big 1-2-5. Ron only finding 60, but looking to rectify the situation here if he can find a big visit of his own. Second dart can't use the first one as a beneficiary. Third dart finds the middle. So following up with a big ton, but he will still only be in front by a small margin. Joe, who is all of a sudden starting to just unload onto these triple 20s. 180, I believe, is indeed found. Yes, it is. Solid darts here from Joe, putting on a clinic of scoring prowess. My goodness. Ron Sargent looking to follow up with a good visit of his own, but he just pushes it wide. And now Joe Ricard, 196 remaining after 2 visits. Didn't have the best of sets in the previous set, but looking to come back stronger, come back with a vengeance here, finding 60, dropping his score down to 136. So still a pretty good leg so far for Joe. Ron looking to catch back up. 2 darts in there, a 180 of his own would be massive. It looks like, again, we've seen that time and time again tonight. Ron's telling Joe all about it. He hasn't been spectating his games or watching his games, so Ron letting him know. But how many times has that happened tonight where Ron has been right on the edge? First dart's in there. Second dart, double 8. Double 8 for Joe. Able to get it done. The huge 136 for Joe Ricard. Awesome finishing from Joe, punishing the slow start from Ron Sargent. And Joe, one leg away from tying up this game at 1 set apiece. Might be nerves, might be adrenaline. Joe not getting off to the hottest of starts there, only leading with 41. What can Ron do to follow up? Well, not much. Able to keep those darts steady, but 60 is just not good enough at this caliber of play. Fortunately for a lot of games, a lot of opponents that you might have, 60 is going to be enough. But for these guys, 70-plus average players, you have to be at least, well, finding the ton at least every other visit. 10-plus scores here and there. And Ron Sargent looking to use those first two as a guide, but really putting all of those points on a dime. Frustration vented. Ron, please don't damage the studio, buddy. You will have to pay for it. We have enough money to buy a cave here at the WPL studio to run all of our stuff out of, but we don't have enough money to repair the walls if he punches them. So, Ron, please keep the house in order. Avoid having our interns work the entire break to repair the studio. Able to find a big ton, so Ron will be certainly happier about that visit than the one previous. Joe Ricard working with 3.59. Well behind the pace after 3 visits. Well behind his own pace that he set for himself, really. So Joe looking to try and find a triple here. Can't get it done, just barely high. Rudge in the chat saying Joe has smashed the triple 20 all night long. I'll take your word for it. We weren't able to see that game that he had against you, Rudge, but oof. Not sure if that's an 81 found. Indeed it is. Rudge, thanks so much for the input. I believe it. Again, Joe has been very consistent all season long, so kind of tough to really not believe that, really. Able to find the switch over the trip 18s. Now, that's a great switch. That's something that we haven't seen from Joe Ricard a lot this season, where 2 blocking darts in that triple 20 bed. First couple of weeks, he would shoot for the moon and try and put that dart over the fence. We finally see that mature dart from Joe where he goes across the trip 18 instead of trying to brute force his way through those darts. So, 220 remains now for Joe Ricard. Great first dart. If you can find another one in there, it'll be solid pressure on Ron. Can't do it, pushes it wide. Drops the score down into outshot territory, but 135 versus 140. I'd rather have the 140. And unfortunately, the combination won't go here for Ron, who also pushes this dart out into the 5 segment. Able to correct, able to hit 50, to leave himself 90, but Joe Ricard 135. Feels like anytime it's under 150, it's a threat from this man right here. So we'll have to see what he's able to do about it. Able to find double bull, so 85 remaining now. Oh, tough second dart. 52 found. Leaves him 83. So trip 17 or trip 19, that works too. Leaves him 26. A little bit of an awkward leave, but it's a way down and it's a way out. And that's all he cares about at this stage in the game. He doesn't care what it is. He just wants to look at it. So after a adventure with the math in the previous legs, Joe doing some extra care to use the calculator. Ron needs another single 20. Finds 74, which is I don't think is the correct move. 16 found. He does find it. Wow. So Ron, who should have gone for a single 20, showing everybody that, you know what, it's all preference at the end of the day. As long as you get it done, that's all that matters. Great darts there from Ron Sargent. The Dreamboat finding. I'm just looking at the chat here. Nick Soldo says, just do better, Rudge. That's tough. That is really tough, Rudge. Don't listen to that man. 60 found off the rip here for Ron Sargent. I'm going to have Rudge and Nick beefing in the chat here for the remainder of the night. And so, Joe Ricard looking to try and keep things steady again. That was a spectacular take. With 90 remaining, the conventional thinking is single 20 if you can't find the triple 20, because that leaves you 70. And then you want to hit another 20 to leave yourself the chance at the double bull. It's the safest way to go. Ron Sargent rolled the dice and lucked out considerably, going for that trip 18 to leave himself double 8. But again, it just shows if you have the confidence in your darts that you can hit that shot, you're going to get a lot of people that say it's not the right way to go. But if you hit it, you silence the crowd, and we move on. And that's where we are right now. Ron Sargent currently trailing Joe Ricard 2 legs to 1 here in this second set. Ron able to pick up a big third there. So Joe Ricard looking to, well, pick up the pace here after 2 visits to the board. Not out of the 400, so very slow here. Not the pace that we've seen from Joe. And again, It's the same situation last leg as well, where we've seen Joe really get off the line in a hurry in the past couple of games that we've had the privilege of watching him play, but it might be evaporating, and Ron might be looking to take advantage of this momentum shift. Another ton, not happy with it at all, but 204 versus Joe's 379. Ron, there's not really that much you can be frustrated about. Joe Ricard once again hunting for any triple that he can try and find. He's only able to find 47. Rudge in the chat saying, right back at you, my friend. I can already see Nick pick up his phone, so he has something smart to say, I'm sure. And able to pick up the double bull. Again, this man is incapable of finding the single bull. He's going to hit the double bull every single time in a match situation. It's just unbelievable. And again, Joe is just struggling to put these darts in a straight line here. Not able to find that triple 20. And able to pick it up with that third dart. But Ron Sargent, 119 remaining. Great opportunity here to tie up this set and potentially throw for the set. 100 left. Finds the second dart, double 20. Oh! And Ron was convinced that that third dart was in there, just ever so slightly low. And double 20 has not been a friendly haven for either man tonight. Joe Ricard, who usually makes such a comfortable friend and ally out of double 20, not able to do so tonight. Ron also been struggling with it. But Ron Sargent, not phased. Still plenty of time to get it done here. Double 10. Going back up to double 5. He's gotten lucky here before. Wants to continue that trend. And does he bust? Does he correct? He's going to take a second to think about it. Under no pressure. Finds the big bust. If you're going to bust, folks, you got to bust big. Find that triple. Make it look good. And Ron, again, will be coming back. Joe Ricard can only hope to pressure. Able to find the big ton. So 106, while it's not considerable pressure, pressure is building. If Ron can't get it done here, well wide. Needs to correct inside. Able to get it done, with that second dart. I didn't want to burp on stream there, so I actually caught it. Ladies and gentlemen, that would have been nasty, so I was able to hold that one in there. All this talking nonstop for this long of a period of a time does strange things to a man's body. And speaking of strange things to men, we find ourselves in a strange situation here where Joe Ricard was flying away with this set, 2 legs to nothing. And now Ron Sargent has come crawling all the way back to tie it at 2 legs apiece. And both guys getting off to a little bit of an awkward start here. So a nervy game so far. Who is going to be able to hold their nerves and keep it together down the line? Joe Ricard pushing that dart outside. And 2 darts outside. Uncharacteristic 22. Ron Sargent looking for the punish if he can get it done. Even a single triple is going to hurt badly. There it is. And not able to pick up a second, but a ton will do nicely to put some serious pain on the mind of Joe Ricard, who's just looking to hold it together for this one last leg to push it to a game-deciding set. And once again, not able to pick up a triple, so is the well starting to run dry here for Joe Ricard. Ron seeming to find endless triples here. Does he stay there? Can't get it done, but still a fantastic visit. Ron, serious pressure, desperation on the face of Joe Ricard. 224 remaining for Ron, 378 for Joe, who can't afford to keep coming up dry here. Needs to find at least one. Doesn't get it done, only finds 60, so huge opportunity now for Ron Sargent if he can keep on marching at this pace. 2 tough blockers might move aside. Elects to stay there and gets punished for it. I think that third dart's a 5. Indeed it is. So Ron sitting at 179. Joe, this might be the 3rd visit in a row here without a triple. It's not. So able to find a ton to leave himself 218. Ron should be going for the 19s here. Correctly goes for it, but finds the big 3. Tough first dart there. Finds a great second dart. Looks like he's staying there. He finds 83. So Joe Ricard sitting all the way back at 218 can only hope to pressure Ron, leaving a very handy 96. 2 triples needed, you feel here for Joe. The one maybe pushing his luck, and he can't even find it. 60 found for Joe. 96 remaining for Ron. Can he get it done here and now? Well, he's going to have to go down to the 19s now. Can't get it done either. So 88 remains now for Ron Sargent. I think he's going to go for trip 16 if he does the math. Goes for the 18 instead. So leaves himself 70. Joe Ricard, we've seen some monster takes from this man in previous weeks. In previous seasons, 158. First darts found. Second darts low. The combination fails on the second dart. And Ron Sargent will be throwing for the game with 70 remaining. Joe able to find 98. So he'll leave 60. Take your pick, folks. Who takes it? 60 versus 70. Ron first crack at it. Does he get it done? Focus. Look at the focus on that man. I love to see it. This guy is dialed in. Locked in. Does he get it done? 66 remaining. 16 double bull. And that is the wrong dart. That is the wrong dart, ladies and gentlemen. In that situation, and Ron may be punished for it right here. He should have left himself the double bull. Questionable choice there for the Dreamboat. Joe's able to find the first dart. He struggled on double 20 all night, but he finds it with that second dart, and that is why you leave yourself the double bull opportunity. Ron being punished, and correctly so, for not at least giving himself that opportunity. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have a tied game. 1 set apiece. Ron will be looking to hold his throw and take this set if he can just fend off Joe Ricard. Not able to grab a ton, only able to find 60. So all of a sudden, Joe Ricard, that was a lot of pressure that he was having to stave off there from Ron, who makes a critical error at the end. But credit to Joe for keeping it together, keeping his game steady. Able to lead off here with a big ton 40, so solid darts. And now the pressure is really on Ron, who more or less let that game get away from him to refocus, refine his mental strength, and just keep on pushing ahead. But are we seeing a role reversal here? Joe is struggling to find a lot of triples in the past couple of legs. Now Ron maybe has caught the bug. Great guide, great second dart here for Joe Ricard, and that's a ton. Was looking for a ton 40, but still moving down the board here with some pace. Now putting the pressure on Ron, who's looking to struggle to try and find triples now, only finding 60. So ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are in the chat watching, now that we're here, who do you think takes it? I'm not going to put up another poll, so you guys will have to type your responses, but let us know who you think is going to take this final game-deciding set. Joe Ricard able to find a huge visit to leave himself 81. After 3 visits to the board, Joe on fire this set, and Ron firing right back with a 140 of his own. My goodness, these guys are flying. And now Joe Ricard, 81 remains. Wanted the trip 15. 66 remaining now. Finds the trip 10, so double 18 for Joe Ricard. And he gets it done. So Joe Ricard, who, well, was given an opportunity at life in the previous leg, previous set, is now up in front and potentially, well, it's on his throw. So if he finds this defensive throw here, if he holds, he'll be playing for the set and playing for the night. If he can just keep it steady. Nick says, Tom Curtin from the top rope. All of a sudden, a substitute in the match. Here comes Tom, dropping in from the airplane. That would be quite special, of course. I think the staff here at the WPL studio would be quite upset with the massive hole in the in the roof and the ceiling, but you never know. Maybe we'll have some acrobatics planned for Season 4. have guys jumping into the match from the upper ropes, upper rafters. Maybe we should just get into wrestling. We'll have to discuss that as time goes on. Ron looking to find more darts in there. Triple 20 found, single 20 found, and only finding a ton. Another shake of the hand, another look to this guy here from Ron, who's just not been able to find ton 80s with ease tonight. Joe Ricard only able to find 5, but that's a good marker dart. WPL. All right, somebody stop Nick. He's getting too many creative ideas. That would be pretty cool, though. And Ron Sargent, 341 remaining, needs to find a triple, though he might have to trade in his soul or something equally as valuable to get this triple 20 flow going again. Joe Ricard has really picked up the pieces and really found his pace. Nick says we already have the belt already. That's true. Joe Ricard finding a ton. Hey, man, I'm trying to cast here. Of course, guys, I can't wait for next season when you get to experience the craziness of 2 people on the mic. That's going to be a lot of fun. Ron not able to find that critical third dart, so only finding 77. Joe, 156 remaining here. Had a look at this previous, not able to get it done here. Finds a big second dart. Going downstairs now. Finds 68, so not the third dart that he was looking for, but still a great leave. 88, Ron 204. No way home here for Ron. Can only hope to hit big and pray that Joe misses. Able to find a ton, so it's pretty good pressure here from Ron Sargent, but Joe Ricard, his finishing has been, well, decent tonight, but it has been spectacular in the past couple of weeks here, looking to clean this up. Finds 60, so double 14 now for Joe Ricard. Oh, he didn't miss by much. Third dart, lucky, and he goes wide. So 28 remains for Joe Ricard. Ron, 104, looking to clean this up and tie up this game-deciding set at 1 leg apiece. Finds 18, 86 remaining, so wants to stay there for 32. Looks like he's doing some calculations in his head, trying to figure this out, making sure that he's lined up correctly on the arc. He's sighting that triple 18, can't get it done, so he's only hope. And you have to feel that might have been a throwaway dart there from Ron. Not happy with that second dart. Joe Ricard just looking to play cleanup crew and take this second leg in this third set. Able to get it done first dart. So Ron, if we go all the way back to the end of the second set, he had the opportunity to hit 16 to leave double bull, potentially take the game then and there, and now he finds himself in a situation where if he has one more loss, it's over for tonight. Cannot afford any more mistakes. Ron Sargent playing for his life tonight, not able to find the ton 80 either. So how many 140s have we seen from Ron Sargent tonight? It's got to be 10 plus, I think. My goodness, this man just not able to buy a 180 for his life tonight. Unlucky. Joe Ricard leading off with a 60. So already well behind Ron Sargent, but again, the momentum seems to be firmly in the grasp of Joe Ricard, who can afford to now have, let Ron hold his throw here. But knowing Joe, he's going to be pushing every single time that he comes to the board here for the maximum amount of points. First dart's in there. Second dart's in there as well. Holding on by a thread. Does he stay there? He does, and he finds the big 180. Not afraid to knock that second dart out, keeping that grouping tight. And, man, he is rewarded with a 180 of, well, one of many that we've seen tonight. And Ron, again, not able to find a triple, so pressure is building. The kettle is starting to whistle. And is time running out here for Ron Sargent if Joe can continue to find big darts? Not able to find a ton 40, only can grab an 83. So Ron Sargent, 256 remaining, needs to find a triple. Thinking about his options here, might be going to the 18s. Does find the 8-trip-18 for 94 score. Joe Ricard, 178 remaining now. The averages have really crept back up. And Joe Ricard, 76.39. Ron, in the previous game, was hanging out in the mid-80s against Nick Soldo. Couple legs there. Of course, there were some wild swings in the averages, but now the advantage seems to be rightly deserved and rightly earned by Joe Ricard here. Was only able to find 60. Leave himself 118. Ron Sargent no way out from 162. 142 remaining now. Try to go for that trip 18 switch. Might be staying there. Does find that. So great 92 score there from Ron Sargent. Drops his score down to 70, I believe. And Joe Ricard working with 118 now. Can he get it done here and now? First dart's just low. 98 remaining for Joe Ricard. Does he stay there? Finds another big 20 for 78. So might be going to the 18s now. Can't find the triple, but he will leave himself 60. And Ron, 70 remaining. Can he get it done? Ooh, again, a similar situation. Needs to go for the 16. And finds the trip 10, but that's a risky play, and he doesn't get it done. So Ron Sargent so close to bailing himself out. I think even Joe raised his eyebrows at that bit as well. But now 3 darts at 60. Just needs to find 1 to give himself opportunities. There's that first dart. 2 darts at tops. Well low on that second dart, down to double 10. And he pulls it outside. So Ron Sargent has earned, or maybe not even earned, another look at this double 18. Can he find it? Hits the number ring. Pulls it outside, so third time's the charm. And it looks like it is in there, so Ron Sargent surviving. Match darts from Joe Ricard. Looks like they're discussing maybe a chip in the paints on that number ring there. No matter. We can afford to repair that, Ron. Just please don't put a hole in our WPL studio wall. That's going to be a lot more of a extensive repair. And now Joe Ricard, who had a brief opportunity there to have this game already be over, doesn't want to give Ron another leg here. Doesn't want to have this go all the way. Leading off with the 60 is just not good enough, but can Ron keep it together? Can't do it, only finding 26. So Joe saying come on to himself. He knows that this is a huge opportunity. If he can find a big visit, might be a tough blocker, but he's going to stay there. Going to try and force his way through, and that's the risk that you run. Going down to the 19s may have been the better play, can only find 60. And Ron going down to the 19s himself, not liking what he's been experiencing on that 20 segment. Finds the big triple with that third dart to save that visit, but still behind this man right here. 381. Even a ton-plus score, a 180 here would be just spectacular. Second dart just a little high. 140 can do, though, and he does find the big 140, so great darts there from Joe. 392 for Ron. Desperation visit. Needs to find 2 triples, you feel. And that just might be a killer. If he's not able to find it, Ron doing a little bit of a shake of the head, a little bit of a laugh, nervous laugh, because he knows that his race might be run if Joe is able to keep on going at this stellar pace. Second dart so low, so unlucky, but third dart pushing outside, so maybe a lack of focus from both guys here. Joe, of course, under 200 points. Ron just hovering around the mid-300s. And 2 darts in there. Can Ron finally have his first 180? Oh, he hits it! He hits it! He hits it! Boom! Ron Sargent, so excited to hit that. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be clipped faster than you can say, clip it, clip it. It's been clipped. We're going to have that on the highlight reel for later videos. But man, oh man, that's the level of frustration that Ron has been experiencing all night tonight. He has come so close where that 180 warrants that reaction. Down to 168 now, not an out, but he doesn't care. He wanted that 180 so bad, nothing else can even come close to the elation he felt of hitting that. Able to find 84. Brings the score down to 84, so 154 remaining for Joe. Can he find it? No, he can't. First part of the combination fails him. Second dart is equally as ugly as that first dart, so tough darts here for Joe. And not able to find that trip 19, so really rough visit there from Joe. Only able to secure himself 42 points. Ron Sargent wants triple 20. 64 remaining now. He should go 14, but he may not go for it. Finds the 48. So 84 minus 68 leaves him 16. He's able to get it done. This man is nuts. This is the wrong way to go. This is incredible. I have never seen a man pin so much on such a low percentage shot and hit it. And I really have to give Ron a lot of credit because this guy is playing on the edge and he's getting away with it. But now it all comes down to a game-deciding leg. Who's going to flinch first? Ron Sargent not able to pick up a triple. This man has been reborn after finding a 180. And Joe Ricard is looking to send this guy back to the shadow realm if he can. But really needs to pick up a triple here. Does find it with that third dart. Again, when you have that dart that pushes out to the 5 or 1, you more or less have to hit a triple 20. Ron able to find one of his own now. So pressure starting to bubble here early on in this leg. Is Joe Ricard going to be able to keep pace? It's a good guide, that first dart. Second dart's walking its way down. Third dart goes a little high. So is that a critical mistake from Joe Ricard, who now not able to keep pace with Ron? Ron starting to run. The sails are starting to get filled with fresh air. 140 secured from Ron Sargent. Joe Ricard needs a 140 of his own to really keep pace, and that's a killer second dart. Finds the big ton, but it's not enough. Ron Sargent, 201, can get himself into a stellar potential outshot here. If he can find a triple or two, can't find two, can't even find one, so only finding 60. Joe Ricard, 256. Needs to find a big visit. Has to find a 140. Needs to find a ton. Can he get it done? Takes aim. Going downstairs, I'm not sure if I agree with that, but he did not like the look on those 20s, so who am I to judge? 197 remaining. Ron Sargent, 141. Can't find the first part, so, well, that gets rid of the 1, so in the grand scheme of things, it's not all that bad. Able to eliminate the 41. And this is desperation now from Joe Ricard. He has had so many chances to close out this game. And is it going to get away from him? More or less has to go downstairs now. Eyes stay upward, but he goes down. Able to find the big 137 pressure. Ron Sargent blowing some hot air into his hands. He knows this has to go. Finds the first dart. Goes high on the second dart. Needs the correction. And he pulls it low. Ron Sargent. Oh, my goodness. We apologize for that. We're going to get fined, unfortunately. Ron, thank you. We'll deduct that from your pay at the end of the season. And Joe Ricard needs to 19 now to leave himself one dart at double 20. And he pulls it low. His favorite double has not been his friend tonight. And we are seeing both guys really struggle on double 20 all night. And you have to feel Ron is not going to miss. How many chances is either guy going to have? Ron sights it, goes wide on the first dart. Second dart's wide as well. Third dart. Not able to find it, I think it's 3 wide. Ron looks back, trying to scare his buddy, saying, I may have found it, but it's not there. Joe Ricard, a new lease on life. Up to double 5. It's over! Joe Ricard, after so many scares from the Dreamboat, is able to find his way out and secure the final week of WPL Season 3. 2 sets to 1, 3 legs to 2 in that final game-deciding set. Ron taking a he's taking some blind shots here at double 10. Is he going to be able to find it? No, he's not able to find it. But that's still pretty cool. Ladies and gentlemen, coming back to the Marty cam here. Wow, after 7 weeks of casting, commentating, just being excited and surprised and every emotion in between from all of our great players here at the Worcester Premier League. That's it. Our regular season for this season is over. Only playoffs remain. And what a night it's been. So much has been decided. I believe if we go to the standings here, Ron Sargent has secured first place. Joe Ricard will bump up into second place. Tom will filter down to third. I'm not sure how Mike and Justin sort out. It might be Mark Rudge, who did find 2 points tonight, and then Mike Carignan, and then Justin Burke. And unfortunately, the one certainty that we do have is that Nick Soldo, even with the 2 points that he was able to secure for himself tonight, the forfeit win against Tom Curtin, he's at 5 points. He is still below the relegation line, and Berto Santos, with a loss tonight, sits at 2 points in 8th place. Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Marty Martinez here. After, how many hours? It's been almost 4 hours of casting darts. My goodness, it's time to go to bed. We have playoffs next week. Same time, 6:45 p.m. Eastern. Top 6 facing off. From all of us here at the Worcester Premier League, we are so happy that you guys have tuned in across the past 7 weeks. We really hope that you guys show out and show up for the final week of Season 3. Playoffs next Monday. We hope to see you guys there. From everybody here, have a wonderful night, and we'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.